Welcome to this new What If. Check the author out and let's begin. Lemon warning 18+. Walking back over to Izuku, Jiro engaged into another make-out session as Izuku then stood and picked her up, holding her as she wrapped her legs around him, kissing him. With Izuku moving over to his bed, he laid her on the bed as she sat up on her elbows looking at him. Izuku got on the bed and crawled to her and began kissing her again. She went and removed her bra, showing her tits as Izuku placed his hand on her right breast, making her moan. She started moving her hands all around his body, rubbing his six-pack abs and well-toned chest. He then breaks the kiss, looking at her, panting, looking into her eyes with her doing the same. Izuku then got off the bed and removed his pants, showing a huge bulge in his pants. Jiro, someone's excited. She then stood up and removed her skirt, showing purple panties. She removed them as well. Izuku then takes off his boxers, showing his 10-inch member. Standing at attention, Jiro walks up to him, placing her hand on his member, stroking it slowly as she looked at Izuku in his eyes. Jiro, I never knew you were hiding this under that robe. Izuku, well, I am full of surprises. Jiro then goes down on her knees in front of his member as she kisses the tip. She then places her mouth on it as she started to suck it slowly. Izuku felt a wave of pleasure from Jiro's blowjob as she sped up, continuing. Izuku wa Jiro imganakum. Hearing this, she continued, feeling his member tense up. Izuku grabbed her head, holding it in place as he blew his load in her mouth. Jiro's eyes went to the back of her head, with Izuku releasing his cum inside of her mouth. She removed her mouth from his member. She did something that surprised Izuku. She swallowed all of his cum. Jiro, that tastes good. She stands up and goes onto the bed and lays down on her back with her legs open. She raises a finger and motions for Izuku to come to her. Obeying, he got on the bed, crawling to her as he places his head at her flower. Izuku, you made me feel good, so I should return the favor. He goes down to her flower. Jiro, pain, wait, you. She was cut off as Izuku began to eat her out. Using his tongue, he licked her insides, making Jiro feel pure satisfaction. She grabbed the covers, gripping them tightly. Jiro, my god, that tongue, have you moaned? Did this moan before? Ah. Coming on his face, Izuku stopped as he licked her juices from his mouth, looked at her. Her face has a blush on it, panting. Izuku, no, I am simply letting my instincts take over now for the main course. He goes up to her with his body over hers, placing his member at her flower. Izuku, are you sure about this? Jiro, yes, I am sure. Izuku nods as he slowly inserts his member in her flower. As blood starts to come from it, he looks and sees Jiro's face with pain on it. Jiro, it's alright. She adjusts herself to the pain. She looks at Izuku and nods as he starts to thrust inside of her, gaining a moan from her, but that motivated him. Izuku kept thrusting in her as he sped up his pace, moving faster as Jiro could not hold it in anymore. Jiro, my god, yes, keep going, yes. Hearing this, Izuku kept thrusting into her hard, making the bed shake. Jiro's moans were heard even outside of the room. Outside of the room, Nagoto and Toga were listening to this with blushes on their faces. They started to feel hot. Toga, whoa, he's really giving it to her. Nagoto, yeah. They both reached into their pants and started to play with themselves, listening to Jiro's screams of pleasure. Dabi, whoa, seems like they are having fun. Well, I'm heading out, gonna find a bar and grab a drink. Spinner right behind you. Back with Jiro and Izuku. Izuku then kisses Jiro as he continued to thrust into her, relentlessly moaning in the kiss. Jiro wraps her arms around him. Izuku then feels his member tense up. Izuku, Kyoka imganakum, where do you want it? Jiro, moan, me too, I want it inside. Izuku, grunt, are you sure? Jiro, yes, let's come together. Izuku continued to thrust inside of her as he then released another load inside of her as they both scream in pleasure. As he still has his member inside of her, he stares into her eyes, both panting. Izuku then removes his member from her as he lays down beside her as she cuddles up to him. Lemon end. Izuku lays in the bed with Jiro. They lay in silence until Izuku spoke. Izuku, so how has your mother been? Jiro gets sad seeing this. Izuku gets worried. Izuku, is something wrong? Did something happen to her? Jiro, my mom, she died. She was found hanging herself. I was told because I visited her and I found her dead body hanging from the ceiling fan. Izuku, Kyoka, I am so sorry. Jiro, it's okay. She left a note saying that she apologizes for leaving me all alone. She said she saw the news and what happened with me joining the Akatsuki. She said that she wasn't mad at me. She said for me to stay safe and that no matter what I do she will always love me. She then starts crying as Izuku wraps his arms around her, comforting her as she cries into his chest. It was like that until Jiro finally cried herself to sleep. Time skip. 2 weeks have went by as the heroes have been working restlessly as they have been trying to locate any members of the Akatsuki, and they have come up with nothing thanks to Izuku. All Might still has not passed on OFA and can still do hero work, so he is currently still the #1 hero. He has gone back to being a teacher at UA due to Bakugo getting captured by the League. They are now in dorms. We now go to Bakugo, who is taking a nap in his room. In Bakugo's dreams, Bakugo is walking around in a dark void wondering where he is at. Bakugo, where am I? ? Hearing this, he turns around and sees Izuku looking at him, but this Izuku is covered in bruises and bleeding from his head. Izuku, you see what happened to me? Bakugo, Deku, what the hell happened to you? Izuku, what happened? You did this to me. You have been bullying me for years. You told me to take a swan dive off the roof. Bakugo, IIDDD. Izuku, what's wrong? It's not like you to be quiet. After all, you are the reason I'm like this. Bakugo, Deku, I mean Izuku, what are you? Izuku, now I am doing all these horrible things and it's all your fault. I am killing people and it's all thanks to you. He then starts to heal as Izuku's wounds would heal as he stands up and closes his eyes and opens them, showing his Rinnegan eyes as his Akatsuki robe appears on him. Bakugo stands there looking with a terrified expression on his face. Izuku, now you see what your actions have created. Now you will watch as I destroy everything you hold dear. The dark void then turns into a different scene as they are now standing in a destroyed city. Everything is burning. Bakugo is looking around, seeing the dead bodies of many heroes, his classmates. Some are dead and the only ones standing are Kirishima, Ochako and him. Kirishima charges at Izuku. Bakugo, shitty hair, wait. It was too late. Kirishima jumped in the air going for a punch only to be pierced through the heart with a rod from Izuku. Bakugo watches as the light leaves his eyes. Kirishima spoke. Kirishima, Ba, K-U-G-O. Izuku pushes his dead body off the rod as Ochako tried to attack him. She was then grabbed by the throat as Izuku held her in the air. Bakugo, Deku, stop this, damn it. Using his explosions he propelled himself forward, but Izuku held out his hand aiming at him. Izuku, almighty push. Bakugo was sent flying away as he hit the wall of a destroyed building. He slowly got up as he watched Izuku snap Ochako's neck. He dropped her dead body to the ground. Bakugo, no damn it, Deku, stop this. Izuku stared at him until someone landed in front of him. All Might. That is enough, young man, it ends here. Charged at him. Detroit SMA. Izuku appeared in front of him and stabbed him through the heart with a rod. Izuku humph, pathetic. Bakugo, no damn it, Deku. Back to reality. Bakugo, damn it, Deku, I'm gonna kill you. ? Bakugo, wake up man, it's only a dream. Denki, Kirishima and Sero were all in his room trying to wake him up. Bakugo then opened his eyes and was ready to shoot an explosion until he realized who they were. Bakugo, what the hell are you guys doing in my room? Kirishima, hey man, we heard you yelling something about a Deku. Are you alright man? You have been acting different ever since that night in Kamino. Bakugo, I'm fine, get the hell out of my room. He gets out of bed and tries to walk out until Kirishima stopped him. Kirishima, hey man, what is going on? Ever since Kamino you haven't been acting like yourself. Bakugo looks at them and he is about to speak until Mineta came in. Mineta, guys come quick, it's that guy that killed that villain, he is on TV. The guys were shocked as they quickly made their way to the common area. When they get there they see all their classmates gathered around watching the TV. Even Aizawa is there. They see someone on the TV. It's Izuku as he is sitting in a chair surrounded by all the members of the Akatsuki. Bakugo's eyes went wide seeing this. Izuku. Hello people of Hero Society, do we have your attention now? This was broadcasting all over the world as people are seeing this everywhere. Aizawa, what the hell? How is he doing this? Momo-sensei, it's all over every station. Nezu was watching this at UA along with the staff. Even All Might was watching this, was shocked. The people around Japan was seeing this on the big screen. The people started to get scared. Izuku, good, now that I have your attention you all will listen to what I have to say. The people who were working at the TV station were trying to find where the signal was coming from, but they could not. Izuku, my name is Pain, and like I told you before, I'm the leader of the Akatsuki. These people who stand beside me have experienced the pain of being born into this corrupted society that you love so much, the heroes that you worship as if they were gods, but they are merely just fools lying to you all, pretending to be something they are not. You see, before I became Pain I went by another name, Izuku Midoriya. That was my name, but the ways of this twisted and sick world changed me for the better. I was bullied and abused just because I was quirkless as a kid growing up. My parents would neglect me and call me worthless, and even go so far as to beat me just because I had no quirk. My father abused me, he beat me for no reason at all, but when my power awakened, that is when I decided to take things into my own hands. I left my home, abandoned my name, and became the one thing I have ever known since the day I was born. Pain. Through pain I was reborn. Through pain I became stronger, and it is thanks to pain that I am here now. Even in school people would bully me for being quirkless, and even the sports festival champion Akatsuki Bakugo went to that same middle school. Bakugo's heart started to beat fast hearing Izuku mention his name. Izuku Akatsuki Bakugo, well, he used to be the only friend I thought I could have, but he turned his back on me and bullied me with the rest of the others, and he told me something that I actually almost considered doing. He told me if I wanted a quirk so badly to take a swan dive off the top of a tall building and pray for a quirk in my next life. Hearing this, many of the people gasped. The teachers at UA went wide-eyed, and at the dorms everyone in Class 1A looked at Bakugo as he was sweating. He sees them staring at him. Before anyone could say anything, Izuku spoke again. Izuku, and that is not all. Your so-called number one hero is not as much as a Boy Scout as he seems. When I met him, well, I asked him if I could become a hero even, and he himself told me that I could not become a hero. Your symbol of peace, your number one hero who was supposed to inspire the next generation, told a young boy he could not become a hero. The same man that says anyone can be a hero is now a hypocrite. The people watching this were shocked that All Might would tell that to someone. All Might himself could not believe what is happening. Nezu, tell me this is not true, All Might. The teachers all look at him. He looks down, not even responding. Izuku then spoke again. Izuku, but I am not the only one who wishes to tell you a story about how despicable these heroes are. Dabi, isn't there something you would like to share as well? Dabi steps up. Dabi, but of course boss, I really hope the number 2 hero Endeavor is watching along with his family, because they would not want to miss this. Dabi grabs a bottle of water and dashes it on his hair as his black hair turns fully white as he looks at the camera. Dabi, my name is Dabi, I am a member of the Akatsuki, but not only that, my real name is Toya Todoroki. Endeavor was watching this at home with Fuyumi and Natsuo. Hearing this, his eyes went wide hearing that name. Endeavor, no way, it can't be. Dabi reaches into his robe and pulls out a paper. Dabi, you may know that name Todoroki, that is the name of the number 2 hero Endeavor. I am his son, and this document here proves that I am indeed Toya Todoroki, Endeavor's son, but being the son of the number 2 hero is not as good as you people may think. My father used his money and his influence to get himself an illegal quirk marriage. He bought my mother's family only to get his hands on her ice quirk. He had 4 children. He keeps his personal life a secret, but what's that saying? What is done in the dark will always come to the light. Well, open your eyes, Endeavor fans, because I am about to tell you just who your number 2 hero is. He wanted to surpass All Might so badly that he even went so far to beat his youngest son Shoto Todoroki, and went so far to neglect his other children and abused his own wife and sent her to a mental hospital. Now tell me, is that the work of a hero? The many people watching this were appalled at hearing the actions of the number 1 and number 2 heroes. They all started to talk amongst themselves until Izuku spoke. Izuku, but these are the heroes you love, the heroes who are supposed to protect you. Tell me what makes them different from villains. They both lie and hurt the ones precious to them, and they have no remorse for what they do. We are the cure for this disease. We are the ones who come from the shadows and stand up for the ones who can't stand up for themselves. Are we heroes? No. Are we villains? No, we are trying to rid this world of what is tearing it apart. Without heroes, without villains, this world can truly be at peace. We are the outcast of society. We have all been bullied, hurt and abused by this society of quirks, and we will no longer stand for it. We will end this superhuman society once and for all. We will remain as long as there are heroes and villains. The Akatsuki will be there to strike them down and deliver our own justice. We all know the pain of being a part of something truly broken. You inflicted pain on us. Now it is time for you all to experience our pain. We are the Akatsuki and we have spoken. The feed then cuts off as the people around the world was starting to panic and question the world they now know. Hearing this information, people wondered just who should they place their faith in if they cannot trust the heroes. The number 2 hero Endeavor was speechless. He could not believe that the son he had thought died was alive this entire time and has been a part of the Akatsuki. His deeds now exposed for the world to see. He can't do anything. The video message of the Akatsuki has sent the people into an uproar, not knowing what to do. They are afraid. The people were questioning everything they know. Hearing the message of the Akatsuki, they questioned if the heroes are even heroes. The media were outside of UA trying to get information from the number 1 hero, All Might himself. All Might was in Nezu's office along midnight. Cementos 13 and the rest of the UA staff as they are looking at him with questionable looks. Nezu, All Might, did you honestly say that to that young man? I was just telling him the truth. I was at my limit and I didn't want him to see me like that because then he would have known my secret. Midnight, well, thanks to that, because of you we now have to deal with this lunatic. Nezu, let's not forget the other part of his message about Akatsuki Bakugo. Cementos, what do you intend to do about him? Nezu, well, let's see. At Class 1A dorms. Silence filled the room as everyone was staring at the explosive Gorkuser as he didn't say a word after Izuku's message. He just stands there with his head down until Aizawa walked up to him. Aizawa, Bakugo is what he said true? He asked this looking at Bakugo as if he was a villain. Kirishima, Bakugo, say something. He still didn't say anything as he turns to walk away until Aizawa wrapped him in his scarf, keeping him from going anywhere. Aizawa, you're not going anywhere until you answer my question. Bakugo, now did you actually tell him that? Denki, what's wrong, man, aren't you gonna answer him? Bakugo, okay, yes, damn it, I told him that. Are you happy now? Aizawa, what the hell is wrong with you? I knew you had anger problems, but for you to tell someone that you bullied an innocent person and you have the audacity to go to this school? Denki, yeah man, that is really messed up. Momo, Denki, you shouldn't even be talking. Everyone looks at Momo as Denki looks at her confused. Denki, what are you talking about, ya Momo? Momo, I am saying don't act like you're just so innocent yourself. After all, you're the reason Kyoka isn't here anymore. Ida, what are you talking about? Momo, before we came to UA, Denki and some girls played a prank on Jiro. It was so awful that she ran off and didn't speak to me at all. Mineta, dude, really, what did you do? Momo, I will tell you what he did. Denki, hey, that's enough. You're not gonna sit here and act like you're so damn innocent. After all, wasn't she your best friend? TCH, like you can actually be a friend. You stopped hanging around her first year of middle school. Momo, yes, and I was wrong, but you don't sit there and judge when you're just as guilty. You cheated on her and showed the video of you and her having sex in front of the entire class at that party, and if that wasn't enough, you verbally disrespected her. Aizawa, what says with venom in his voice. Kirishima then punches Kaminari in the face, sending him to the ground. Kirishima, are you guys serious? What the hell is wrong you? They all look at him with confusion as he continued to speak. Kirishima looks at Bakugo, dude, I have been our friend since you joined UA and now I hear this about you bullying somebody who was quirkless. He knew you had anger management issues, but to tell someone to kill themselves, what the hell gives you that right? He grabs Bakugo by the collar. Kirishima, now look at you, why the hell are you so damn quiet? Don't you have anything to say? Bakugo pushes Kirishima off as he runs off, heading out the door. As Kirishima goes after him, Aizawa was about to go after him until his phone rang. He saw it was Nezu. Aizawa answers, "Hello, yes sir, okay, I will bring him and I will bring the rest of my class. There are some things you're gonna want to hear." With the Akatsuki toga, man, I wish I could have seen the heroes' faces when we put them all on blast. Nagant, yes, well, it is time they get what they deserve. Excuse me, can you tell me where the green-haired man went to? Nagant, Moiri, you're looking for Pain, right? She nods. Nagant, well, he is out right now but he will be back in a little while. Is everything okay? Irio, I just wanted to see if he was here. I wanted to thank you both for saving me from overhaul. Nagant bends down and pats her head. Nagant, don't worry kid, we just did what was right. What he did to you was wrong and Lord Pain made all those bad men pay and they will never hurt you again. Iri then starts to cry as Nagant hugs her. With Izuku. Izuku is with Jiro at her mother's grave. Using her paper she made a flower bouquet and sat it down at her mother's tombstone as she placed her hands together silently praying. Izuku stood by her watching. They both have on hoodies, keeping their identities secret so no one would know who they are. Jiro, thanks for coming with me. Izuku, I would never let you do this alone. If things wasn't the way they were, I would have really loved to meet your mother. From what you have said about her, she was an incredible woman. Jiro, yeah, she was. They stood there in silence as the wind blew. Jiro then spoke again. Jiro, Pain, how do you do it? Izuku looks at her, confused by her question. Jiro, how do you continue to strive forward even when life is constantly hurting you to the point where you just can't bear it? How do you move on when the past is just too painful to forget, when the ones you love are dying and you can't do anything to stop it? Izuku sees she is about to cry, so he walked up to her and hugged her. She wrapped her arms around him, hugging him back. Izuku, I do it because I have people around me that have shown me what it means to have a family, what it's like to have friends. Everyone in the Akatsuki, I cherish every single one of you. You have become a part of me, so I will do what needs to be done, commit any sin necessary if it means saving all of your lives. I want peace because that is what our reincarnates fought so hard for in their era. I want them to see just how much pain they have inflicted on us and throw it back at them. I do this so no child of the next generation becomes like me. Jiro, hearing this, looks at him in his Rinnegan eyes. She leans in and plants a kiss on his lips. He didn't object, he accepted the kiss. They then broke apart and rest their foreheads against each other. Jiro, you know, even if we both have flaws, you are perfect in my eyes. Izuku, I feel the same way. Izuku's phone rings as he picks it up and answers. Izuku, hello? Yes, am I speaking with Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki? Izuku, who is this and how did you get this number? Chuckles, well, where are my manners? My name is Redistro and I am an admirer of your latest work. I love what you're doing with the heroes, but I want to have a meeting with you face to face. Izuku, oh really, and what do you wish to discuss with me? I have never met you before, so I don't see any need to discuss anything with you. I don't associate with heroes or villains. Redistro, oh, I think you will want to speak with me, Mr. Pain, that is if you care about what happens to members of your organization. He puts the phone near someone. La brava, Lord Pain. Izuku's eyes went wide hearing that. Izuku, la brava. Are you alright? Redistro, we ran into this little birdie while she was walking around in disguise. Imagine my surprise when we found out she belonged to your group. Now about that meeting, I expect you here in 3 days. Deku City, 9 AM. Do not be late. I would hate it if something bad happened to your friend here. He then laughs evilly as he hangs up the phone, but he made a mistake. He made Izuku angry. Izuku crushed the phone in his hand, surprising Jiro. Jiro, Pain, what's wrong? Izuku, they have La Brava. Jiro, who has her? Izuku, this man known as Redistro. Jiro, I heard about him. He is the CEO guy that runs the Detenarot company, but what would they want with La Brava? Izuku, I don't know, but let's assemble the rest of the Akatsuki. They have no idea just who they are dealing with. Both Izuku and Jiro vanish. They both appear in the Akatsuki hideout. Izuku, is everyone here? Gentle, yes. Pain, we are all here. Is everything alright? Izuku no THS man known as Redestro has kidnapped La Brava. Dobby, what the hell? Spinner, why would he do that? Izuku, he wants to have a meeting with me face to face. Nagoto, and this is how he goes about it? Kidnapping one of our own. Izuku, we are gonna have to meet with him, but it is not gonna be a meeting he is gonna expect. Izuku goes and grabs his cloak and puts it over him. He then start walking towards the cave exit as they all follow him. Back at UA. Class 1A are all standing in Nezu's office as he has been told everything by Aizawa. What has been said about Bakugo and Kaminari, to say he was pissed was an understatement. Nezu, in all honesty, I'm greatly disappointed in both of you. You bullied people and made them turn into something we can't even comprehend. What I want to know is why on earth would you bully a quirkless person, and that said quirkless person has turned into likely the most powerful man in Japan and the leader of the most dangerous group today. Bakugo, I know that, alright. Everyone stares at him as he continues to speak. Bakugo, I haven't been able to sleep at night. Every time I close my eyes I see him staring at me with those cold eyes of his. He brought down that villain All Might, was fighting like it was nothing, but that was not the kid I grew up with. He was colder, he was ruthless. Deku no Izuku would never kill. He was always kind to everyone around him. He was nice. Even when we bullied him he kept getting back up. Yes, I bullied him, okay, I know I'm a piece of shit, I know, okay. He drops to his knees as he started crying. Bakugo, crying, I lost my friend, I see what I turned him into. I turned him into a monster. I am sorry Izuku, I'm sorry. If I can take it all back I would, but I can't. Seeing him doing all these horrible things and knowing that I am the reason he is like this, it's my fault. He cries on the ground as the students and teachers see this. Bakugo, the prideful arrogant student, was crying. He actually felt guilty. Am walked up to him, placing a hand on his shoulder. Am, just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you can't fix it. Young Bakugo, you are not the only one to blame for young Midoriya's change. I take the blame as well. If I had just looked him in the eye and told him he could be a hero, maybe he would not be like this. So let's save young Midoriya together. They then hear a knock at Nezu's door. Nezu, come in. The person walks in as they wonder who she is, but Bakugo knew who she was. Bakugo, Auntie Inko. Inko, excuse me Nezu, I am sorry for interrupting your meeting, but I just had to talk to you. Nezu, may I ask who you are? Inko, my name is Inko Midoriya and I am Izuku's mother. She said, looking down. Aizawa, you're his mom. Inko, well, I have never really acted like his mother. I was not always like this before I got help. I had a drinking problem. Me and my husband were going through hard times, and with Izuku being quirkless we thought that it was gonna be harder for us now having to raise him, and he saw she losing his job. We took out our frustrations on Izuku, making him feel like he was worthless. So if anyone is to blame for my son's behavior, it is mine. I didn't love him like a mother should. I didn't give him the love he so desperately needed. I am the reason my son has become the monster he is today. She got on her knees and bowed to them as she started crying. Inko, I beg of you, please, All Might Akatsuki and all of you heroes, I know he has done horrible things, but I beg you as his mother. She raises her head, showing the tears she is crying. Inko, please save my son. Even if you have to lock him away, just save him. Stop him from causing more destruction. She cries as Aizawa and Midnight walked up to the crying woman and helped her up and spoke. Aizawa, I am not gonna lie, after the things he has done he would get a decent sentence, but we will stop him, you have my word. Ms. Midoriya, it takes guts coming in here admitting your wrongdoings. We will stop him, this I promise. Thanks to the message heard all around the world, the people's faith in heroes was wavering as the media has gone full throttle with the words from the mouth of the leader of the Akatsuki. Reporter, ladies and gentlemen, are the heroes really the monsters to blame here? Is the society we know and love really that messed up? Our top heroes have been avoiding the media ever since the message was heard. Even Endeavor has not made a comment since then. This group, who call themselves the Akatsuki, have shaken this world to its very core. How can the heroes stop the threat? This group boasts. Endeavor has not spoken to the media or done an interview since finding out about his son, the son he thought died all those years ago. When that happened, Endeavor looked back at everything he has done in his life, asking himself how he got to this point. He looked back, seeing the way he treated his family. He sees that all the things he did are the reason things are the way they are now. Endeavor broke down crying. His daughter Fuyumi was listening to this outside of his door as she heard him repeating the same words. Endeavor, I can't fight my son, it's all my fault, everything that has happened is my fault, I can't fight my own son, I can't fight Toya. He cries and cries as Fuyumi listens to him and silently cries herself. At UA, we go to a gym where Bakugo is training. Bakugo ha! He fires an explosion that destroys a boulder, sweat dripping from his body as he is breathing heavy. Izuku, you will only be a nuisance, be gone. Izuku, don't sit there and act like you don't know why I'm doing this. After all, you were one of the main causes of my actions. Bakugo, I swear I will stop you no matter what it takes. After 20 more minutes of training, he leaves and takes a shower. He gets dressed. As he walks over to the splashes water on his face and looks in the mirror, and when he does that he sees Izuku staring at him in the mirror. Bakugo, Deku. Izuku, the next time I see you I will kill you. Bakugo, yeah, let's see you try it, nerd. Izuku, you never change, you know I should thank you. Bakugo, what the hell are you talking about? Izuku, because of you and the help of others I am so powerful that I am completely unrivaled. No one can stop me and the Akatsuki from accomplishing our goals. I guess you really were good for something. Bakugo, I swear I am gonna stop you. Izuku, oh, and how are you gonna do that? I have killed Ifo and Shigaraki. I have done in one night what All Might himself couldn't even do. We do what the heroes don't have the balls to do. We are saving this society from the two sides that wish to destroy it. Bakugo, I am gonna bring you down no matter what it takes. Deku, you will not win. Izuku, you said you want to stop me, huh? So you're willing to do whatever it takes. Bakugo, you're damn right. Izuku, even if means killing me. Bakugo's eyes went wide hearing this. Izuku, could you do it? Could you take the life of your former best friend? You know, it's ironic how you're playing the hero and I am the villain, so if you want to do whatever it takes, then would you kill me? Bakugo remains silent. Izuku, don't have an answer. In the sports festival you always yell die every time you attack someone, but when it comes to taking a life, what would you really do? You can't answer. Well, if it came down to it, know that I would not hesitate to kill you. Bakugo, then why didn't you do it? Kamino, if you're so damn strong. Izuku, that's simple. At the moment you were not my target. I don't even care about you at all. In Kamino my targets were All Might and Ifo, not you. You were irrelevant, a non-factor, an extra, as you would always say. Bakugo was getting angry hearing Izuku talk. Izuku, Humfo, you're angry now. Do you hate me now? Bakugo clenches his fist in anger. Izuku, you're pathetic. You think that you can just try and become a hero and all of your bad deeds will just disappear. You thought that everything you did would not come to light. I am the living, breathing embodiment of your sins, staring you right in the eyes. No matter how hard you try to act like you're a good person, you will never be truly good at heart. You are a monster living a lie pretending to be something you're not. Bakugo punches the mirror, destroying as glass was in his hand. Bakugo, damn it. He drops to his knees as Aizawa comes in. Aizawa, I saw everything that just happened. I think you need to go and get some rest. Bakugo, but first go get yourself patched up. Bakugo, yes sir. With Redestro. Redestro, so you won't give me any information on the Akatsuki, huh? He says this to a beaten and bloodied La Brava, who looks up at him and spits blood in his face. La Brava, you're going to die when they get here, you know that, right? Redestro, oh please, I have over 100,000 soldiers of the Meta Liberation Army at my beck and call, and your group is full of what, a handful of people. They won't be able to do anything against us. ? Is that so? Well, I guess you're gonna have to learn your lesson the hard way, just like those heroes and the villains we have killed. The voice echoes around them as they all look around trying to find where the voice came from. Redestro, who are you? Toga used Kamui and appeared right next to La Brava, shocking Redestro. Redestro, how did you get in here? Toga, that's my little secret. Now I will be talking my friend here. She pats La Brava on her head. Redestro, oh, and you think him just gonna let you? He was cut off as he heard huge explosions going on outside. He looks to see a man standing on a white bird throwing things as they exploded, killing most of his members. Redestro, what the but how did they find us so quickly? Toga laughs, getting his attention. Toga, did you honestly think we are just an ordinary group of people? We have powers you wouldn't even be able to comprehend now. Toga sucks La Brava into her Kamui dimension slide and Go tries to stab Toga only for the knife to go right through her, shocking him. Toga, oh well, I would love to play with you but it's time for me to go. She vanishes out of there using Kamui. She appears on the bird with Gentle. Criminal. Gentle, where is she? Toga brings out La Brava. Seeing Gentle, she runs up to him and hugs him. He returns the hug. La Brava, crying, Gentle. Gentle, I am so glad you're safe. Toga, wow, these guys, there really is a lot of them. She sees Nagoto shoot a bullet right through the head. Oof. Incoming group of Meta Liberation members as Shinso using the Kazekage puppet and fires out his iron sand, trapping another group of people. Spinner using water style as his sharks devour another group as they are clearing out the small fry. Gentle, it is time to show this liberation army just who they are dealing with. Gentle flies over to the building where Redestro was as he formed something out of clay. Gentle, this is what happens when you take one of the members of the Akatsuki. The explosion destroyed the entire building. Redestro was in as they looked and waited for the explosion to die down. Seeing the rubble, something then rose from the rubble. Redestro, but he was in his stressed buff form. He was angry. Redestro, how dare you? Did you honestly think that attack was gonna be enough to kill me? Dobby was fighting. An eyes user named Getten. Getten, you all will die here. We will be the ones to destroy you fools. Dobby, oh really? Threads came from the ground and wrapped around Getten, keeping him in place. Getten, what the? Dobby, you're a weak little fool. I have been holding back on you for the longest. If I wanted to, I could have killed you already. We are only just distracting you liberation fools. Getten, oh yeah, distracting us for what? Stain cuts through an entire group using his scythe. Stain, you are just the opening act. The main event is here. Redestro was ready to fight Gentle, who was in the air on his clay bird, smirking down at the hulking figure. Redestro, what's wrong? Are you gonna come down and fight, or are you afraid of what I can do? Gentle, you poor deluded fool, I am not your opponent. I only wanted to fire a revenge shot for you harming La Brava. Your opponent is right there. He points as Redestro looks in the direction he is pointing as he sees someone walking up to him. Izuku, so you're Redestro. Izuku stops when he is close enough but is still a distance away. Redestro, oh, so you have come to die by my hand? Ha, well, I will be happy to assist you with that. A purple ball forms in his hand. Redestro burden. He fires the blast at Izuku, who held out his hand as the blast hits him. Redestro thinks he has won, but he is surprised when the attack was absorbed by Izuku. Destro could not believe it, but his thoughts were snapped from him when Izuku spoke. Izuku universal pull. Redestro gets pulled right towards Izuku. Redestro, I can't stop myself. Izuku grabs his head and slams him into the ground. Destro was on his back while Izuku stabbed him in the hands with rods, keeping him on the ground. Izuku, you stole one of my members. I cannot let you continue to live knowing you did that. Now I will show you and your army what true pain is. Gentle, Toga, get the others away from the city. Both, yes sir. Redestro, what are you gonna do? You can't take on the Meta Liberation Army all by yourself. You're just one man. Even All Might can't take on 100,000 men. You're just an ordinary man. Izuku, that is where you are wrong, because I am no man, I am a god. Izuku then floats into the air as Redestro watches on helplessly. Izuku gets so high he is above the city with his hand raised high. Toga and Gentle did what they were told as Shinso, Ibura, Dobby, Spinner, Stain and Nagoto got away from the city. Seeing this, Izuku then spoke. Izuku, you all shall know pain. The Meta Liberation members watched on as they saw him floating in the air as the Akatsuki got a distance away from Deku City. Izuku then spoke. Izuku, almighty push. There was nothing left of the destroyed city, no buildings, no one was standing, it was only a destroyed wasteland. Well, only a handful were still alive, even Redistro was barely alive at the attack. Izuku descends down to the ground as he stands over Redistro's beaten body. The Akatsuki came and gathered around Izuku, staging down at Destro, who then spoke. "Redistro, you truly are strong, pain." The remnants of the liberation group gathered around as Redistro slowly sat up and looked at Izuku and the Akatsuki. What Redistro did next surprised even Izuku. He bowed to them. "Redistro, the Meta Liberation Army is yours to command, Lord Pain." Izuku then looks around and sees the other members bowing down to him and the Akatsuki as they are all on their knees bowing their heads to their leader Pain. There was a meeting currently going on between Nezu and many other pro-heroes, being All Might, Endeavor, Best Jeanist, Deadshot, Maruko and Ryukyu and Gang Gorka along with the UA staff. They were watching the news about the destruction of Deku City. Reporter, the destruction that you see on this scene behind me, this is where Deku City used to be. The cause of this huge destruction is still unknown. There is no survivors found. The police will continue their investigation into this story. Nezu turns off the TV and turns to the heroes in the room. "Nezu, it seems that the Akatsuki have been quite busy. Aizawa, you think they are the ones behind this attack?" "Nezu, I have a reliable source that assures it they were there, and what transpired could not even be fathomed. Just what happened by the looks of the news footage, it looks like a war was fought. Nezu, it seems that was the work of their leader, the one who calls himself Pain." The entire room of heroes went wide-eyed hearing this. Present Mike PM, there is no way that guy can do something like that. I mean, yeah, the boy is powerful, but to do something like this. Midnight, don't forget he destroyed the villain All Might, fought in Kamino, and that Shigaraki guy. Aizawa, he beat them both like they were nothing, and he stopped All Might from moving. That kid stopped me from using my quirk when I was impaled by that rod. I could not use my power at all. Maruko, so this kid can stop a person from using their quirk. Just what kind of freak is he? Aizawa, if it wasn't for Bakugo's interference, All Might, you would have been killed. Endeavor, so what about the rest of the members? Nezu, we know that 3 of their members are Kyokujiro, Hitoshi Shinso and Shiozaki Ibara. The other members, well, one of them is Lady Nagant. Maruko, what, but how is she out of prison? Semendos, she used to work for the Her Safety Commission, did she? Nezu, yes she did. She was arrested for killing the Public Hero Safety Commission's chairman. Snipe, if they have her on their team, then this Akatsuki situation just got 10x harder than it already was. There has to be something we can do. I mean, 3 of those members used to be students of ours. Maybe this Pain guy did something to them to make them this way. Aizawa, open your eyes, they are clearly doing this of their own accord. I don't believe that he must have done something to them to make them this way. Maruko, speaking of this Pain, any idea on what he can do? This kid seems to be really powerful to be leading that many people. Nezu, from the footage we saw of him in Kamino Ward, he has the ability to repel anything that comes towards him and then bring things to him like a magnet. Endeavor, yeah, me and Deadshot tried to attack him, but he said something and then we were blasted back. When we came to, he was already gone. These Akatsuki members have powers we haven't seen before. Nezu, yes, they are a mystery. At another location, we go to Akatsuki Bakugo, who was standing outside of his house. As he walks up and opens the door, walking inside, he sees his mom sitting down watching TV. Bakugo, mom. Hearing this, Mitsuki turned around to see her son looking at her. Mitsuki, cat. She sees the look in his eyes as it looks like he has been crying and he hasn't gotten enough sleep. Mitsuki, Katsuki, what the hell is going on with you? You look like shit. Bakugo walked over and sat down next to her on the couch as she looks at him worried. Bakugo, mom, I need to ask you something. Hearing the tone of his voice, she sees that something is definitely wrong with him. Mitsuki, thinking he called me mom, not old hag. Mitsuki, what is it, Katsuki? I have never seen you like this. Bakugo, what do you think about me? Mitsuki was confused by this question. Mitsuki, what do you mean? Bakugo, what do you really think about me, my attitude, my behavior, the way I act? Do you think I deserve to be a hero? Mitsuki was surprised to hear her son talking like this. She could not find the words to say to him. Mitsuki Katsuki. He looks at his mom, no anger in him, just a sorrowful face wanting answers. Mitsuki sighed and looked at her son with a serious face. Mitsuki, well, I'm not gonna lie to you, Katsuki, although the truth may be hard for you to hear. From the moment you got that awesome quirk, you were always praised for everything you did. With that praise you gained this superiority complex. From that you thought you were better than everyone around you. No matter what, you were always good at everything you tried. You have the quirk to be a hero, but the attitude and personality, no, you did not act like a hero. And hearing what Izuku said about you made me question myself as a mother. You bullied Izuku for something he could not control. It was not his fault, he was born quirkless, but you acted like it was. You hurt him for it, and the boy was already going through so much. He was your friend and you hurt him, so your attitude and personality do not make you a hero. Heroes only hurt villains, not innocent people. Now I have a question for you. Why do you look like you haven't slept in days? Bakugo lowered his head, thinking about what his mother just said as he then spoke. Bakugo, I saw him when I saw him that night in Kamino where All Might fought that villain. The way he looked at me with those cold eyes of his, he didn't look like Deku. No, he did not look like Izuku. He looked at me like I was a mere bug. He told me I was getting in the way. He blasted me away. He then fought both of the villains and All Might. He killed the villains without hesitation. He was gonna kill All Might until I stepped in. Even then he still looked at me like I was nothing to him. He then told me. He gulps, pausing before he speaks. Mitsuki, what did he say? Bakugo, he told me, the next time he sees me he will kill me. Mitsuki went wide-eyed hearing this as she looks down, hearing that the boy she considered a nephew now wants to kill her own son. But Bakugo continues to speak. Bakugo, I have had nightmares ever since that night. I have been trying to train to keep myself from thinking about it. He was so different. He didn't look like the same guy I grew up with. I know I bullied him, but I never wanted him to turn out like this. I just wanted him to not be a hero. I only wanted it to be me to be the hero. Tears start to come from his eyes as he hears the words Izuku said to him. Izuku, the next time I see you I will kill you. Izuku, I am the living embodiment of your sins. Izuku, no matter how hard you try to be a good person, you will never be truly good at heart. Izuku, you are a monster living a lie. Bakugo, it's like his words to me just won't stop repeating. It's like they're playing on loop. I didn't know that he would end up like this. I can't sleep. I can't even think straight thanks to that. Just what should I do? Mitsuki looks at her son, panicking about what his past actions have caused him. As Mitsuki did something. Slap. She slapped him, being shocked. Bakugo looked at his mother, who then spoke. Mitsuki, look at you sitting there panicking like you did not cause this. It's too late to panic. You thought that you could just hurt the boy and nothing would happen, you idiot. When you torment someone for years you break them, and to make matters worse you told him to kill himself, and now look at what that has caused. Because you couldn't be friends with a quirkless boy you had to torment him, and now he has turned into a monster that wants to destroy hero society. You can't hurt someone and expect nothing to happen to you, Katsuki. It's called karma. You get what you deserve now. I'm not saying that Izuku should kill you, but look at your actions in the past and look at what they have caused now because of you and many other factors of Izuku's past. He now is someone that could destroy heroes and end the world as we know it. He looks down, but Mitsuki then hugged him, surprising the boy. He then felt something wet on his shoulder. His mom was crying. Mitsuki, just because you made a mistake doesn't mean you get to sit there and cry when it comes back around on you. This is not the time for you to be crying about your problems. This is the time when you look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, are you a hero or are you a villain? With Izuku. Izuku was standing in front of Redestro, who was scared. It has been 2 months since the attack on Deku City, and now the Akatsuki are at a hotel paid for by Redestro. Izuku, tell me, Redestro, what information do you have for me? Redestro, Lord Pain, our forces will assemble tomorrow morning to hear from our new leader. They want to know what your vision is for the future. Izuku, I see. Well, is that all? Redestro, no my lord, our spy for the heroes will be here tomorrow as well to meet with you, and he wants to know if he can meet the rest of the Akatsuki as well. Izuku, he will meet with a member of the Akatsuki and this spy of yours. Can you honestly say you can trust them? Redestro: yes sir, I can. He has proven his loyalty to me, so there is no need for me to doubt him. Izuku narrows his eyes. Izuku, for your sake you better be right size. Well, that will be all. Redestro walks away. As Izuku goes back to his hotel room, he goes to his room to see Jiro sitting on his bed. Jiro: so what did you want to speak with Redestro about? Izuku: he wants me to speak to the members of the Liberation Army tomorrow. He sits down next to her and releases a long sigh. Jiro gets behind him and starts to massage his shoulders. Jiro: aw, you can't catch a break, can you? Izuku: yes, it seems so man, that feels great. Jiro: pain, I know that you and I love each other, but there is something I want to show you. Izuku: what do you mean, what do you have to show me? Jiro gets off the bed and walks over to the door and opens it to reveal Toga and Lady Nagant coming in. Izuku: Nagant Himiko, what is going on? Toga: well, pain, we have talked with Gyoka and Nagant. We wanted to know if she would be willing to share you with us. Izuku was shocked by this. Izuku: what a minute, you two have feelings for me? Toga: yes, for me it was like love at first sight when you saved me from those thugs that wanted to hurt me. You gave me a home and a new family. For once I am happy with the people around me and not suffering, and that's all thanks to you. Nagant: when I first met you I thought you were just some odd kid, but slowly over time I saw your actions and the way you went at this broken society. You see the faults of it just like I did, and you assembled a group to get rid of the problem. You showed me what kind of man you are, and I could not help but fall for you. Both we love you, Lord Pain. Izuku, hearing all this, was lost in thought for a moment as he looked at Jiro. Izuku: how do you feel about this? Jiro: well, I don't have a problem with it. Besides, smirks, I think you can handle 3 women unless you're scared. Izuku: me scared? Humph. Smirks: I am a god, of course I can handle the 3 of you lovely ladies. The question is, can you 3 handle me? Jiro walks up to Izuku. Jiro: oh, keep talking like that and I am gonna make you prove it, Lord Pain. Izuku looks at Nagant and Toga: well, ladies, I accept your feelings, so if you're willing to share me, then I am all yours. They both walk up to Izuku as Toga kisses him on the lips. They then break apart as Lady Nagant pulls him into a passionate kiss. They were like this for a while until they broke. Izuku: well, I think him gonna love this. Jiro: you're gonna love this even more. She pushes Izuku on the bed and removes his shirt as she takes hers off, as well as Toga and Nagant. Toga: so Lord Pain, we have a question for you. Nagant: can you make us feel pain? Jiro: and pleasure tilde. Izuku: but of course, come and I will show you, but know this, all 3 of you will not be able to walk tomorrow. Jiro got on top of him as she began kissing him while Toga and Nagant kissed his neck while rubbing his body. Toga stopped as she walked towards the door and closed it and locked it for privacy at UA. Nezu: I know that these times are bad, but we have to deal with the Akatsuki, but we know nothing about these powers they wield. What do you think, Detective Tsukaichi? Tsukaichi: the Akatsuki are a very dangerous threat, but I think we can have a lead on the location of their hideout. Nezu: you do? Please elaborate. Tsukaichi: we managed to capture the hero Slide and Go. We did some digging and found out he has ties with the Liberation Army. He was brought in by Hawks. Nezu: I see. Did Hawks find anything useful? Tsukaichi: not yet, but we are still interrogating Slide and Go. We will find info on the Akatsuki and we will bring them down. With Class 1A. Izuku: okay, that's all for today's lesson. The class is currently in one of the training grounds as they just got done. Bakugo, thinking. Mitsuki: are you a hero or are you a villain? Bakugo, thinking. I have to make things right. Flashback 10 years ago. Kid Izuku: wow, Kaken, your quirk is so awesome, I can't wait until I get mine. Kid Bakugo: whatever Deku, I bet whatever quirk you get won't be any better than mine. Bakugo: he can't do anything like a useless Deku. Wait, that's your new name, Deku? Izuku: why do you have to be so mean, Kaken? Izuku reaches out his hand to Bakugo, who fell in the river. Kid Izuku: are you okay? Bakugo smacks his hand away. Bakugo: I don't need your damn help, Deku, get lost. Kid Izuku: stop picking on him, Kaken. Kid Bakugo: oh, you trying to play hero, Deku? Kid Izuku: if you don't stop I will fight you myself. Bakugo, oh really? He starts forming small explosions in his hands as him and his lackeys go to attack Izuku. Kid Bakugo, ha, remember that the next time you challenge me, loser. Him and his lackeys walk off, leaving behind a beaten and bruised Izuku. Flashback over. Bakugo was lost in his thoughts. He did not see Kirishima getting his attention. Kirishima, hey Bakugo. Bakugo, huh? Oh Kirishima, it's you, what do you want? Kirishima, class is over man, the guys went back to the locker room, come on. Bakugo, right. They both made their way to the locker room and get changed. Once they went back to class, the bell ringed as they gathered their stuff and left the classroom. Aizawa, Bakugo, come here, there is something I want to talk to you about. Bakugo goes to see what Aizawa wanted. Bakugo, yes sensei. Aizawa, I have noticed these last few weeks you have changed. I take it this has something to do with that pain guy exposing you to the world 2 months ago. Bakugo, yeah, I have talked with my mom about it and it's all my fault. I have thought about it over and over. No matter how I look at it, I feel like I caused him to act this way. If only I had been a better friend, a better person, maybe he wouldn't be like this. Aizawa, you can't blame yourself for the things he has done. You may have been one of the reasons he is like this, but not everything is your fault. There is some truth to what he said, though. This society isn't all black and white, it's not sunshine and rainbows, and because of being on the wrong side of things, we now have a group of individuals who want to tear down everything the heroes have built. Bakugo sensei, I have a request. Aizawa, what is it? Bakugo, when the heroes find the Akatsuki, I want to be there with them. I know I'm not a pro hero, but I just want to be there to try and make him see reason, to make him see what he's doing is wrong. Aizawa, even if you get permission for that, say you do see him, what exactly would you do? This is a man who has killed and has no problem taking someone else's life, and don't forget this guy is too powerful, so powerful I doubt All Might and the top 10 heroes together could not stop him. Bakugo, I see. Aizawa, I am not gonna lie, when I found out the crap you put him through, I was ready to expel you on the spot and blacklist you from many hero school, but these are desperate times. We are gonna need all the help we can get to fight these Akatsuki guys. Bakugo, yes sir, I understand. He walks off and makes his way back to the dorms. Upon arriving, he opened the door as the other students see this as Kirishima walked up to him. Kirishima, hey man, are you alright? Bakugo, yeah, I'm fine. So what did Mr. Aizawa want to talk to you about? Bakugo, it was about why I spaced out today. I haven't been myself since. Remains quiet. Kirishima, since Kamino, I get how you feel man, that pain guy was insanely strong. I gotta tell you, I have never been more scared of someone in my life. Looking at those eyes of his sent chills down my spine. That was one scary guy. Shoto, it goes to show you just how strong their leader is. If he is that strong, just imagine facing the others. Momo, these Akatsuki guys, they are dangerous. I hate to say it, but I think the heroes might be in over their heads. Ida, please, they are nothing but common criminals and psychopathic murderers. Mineta, dude, come on, you saw what that pain guy did in Kamino. Ida, there has to be a way. Those damn Akatsuki killed my brother. I can't let that act go unpunished. Su, but Ida, you saw how powerful they were. They don't care about killing anyone in their way. Kirishima, besides, you were in Kamino right along with us. You saw how easily that guy killed both those villains and restrained All Might. Ida clenched his fist in anger as he said nothing else. Bakugo, guys, I know that someday we will have to face the Akatsuki. I just want to ask you that when that day comes, you all will leave pain to me. The whole class was taken back by this. Mina, are you insane? Why would you even ask something like that? Bakugo. Toru, I know you're strong, but that guy is way out of your league. Kirishima, I agree man, that guy is way too strong. Bakugo, I am the only one who could stop him. Shoto, you think going against that maniac alone will end with you being the winner? You're crazy. Bakugo, look, no one touches Deku, he is mine to deal with. Kirishima, look man, I know you're good, but that guy is on a whole other level. There is just no beating him. Bakugo, I have to. Shoto, why are you so fixated on stopping him by yourself? Bakugo looks down. Bakugo, because he used to be my friend. With Izuku. Izuku was up after a very long night with 3 beautiful women that love him in his room. Jiro, Nagant and Toga were all naked sleeping on the broken bed in the messed up hotel room Izuku was staying in. It was morning as Izuku went to take a shower. Once he is done with his shower he comes back into his room to see Nagant awake. Nagant smiles. Good morning. Izuku, morning. How did you sleep? Nagant, like a baby. You were an animal last night, Lord Pain. Izuku, call me Izuku, only call me that when we are out in the field. Nagant, sure. They hear a knock at the door as Izuku walks up and answers it. Izuku, yes, can I help you? He sees Redestro. Redestro, Lord Pain, the forces are gathered now, they wait to hear from you, my lord. Izuku, I see, let me get fully dressed and I will be right there. Destro bows and walks off as Izuku goes and puts on black pants and a black shirt as he put on his black shinobi sandals and made his way to greet the Liberation Army. Before he leaves the room he looks at the Nagant and Toga and Jiro and he smiles. Izuku, you girls stay here, I can take care of this. He closed the door and makes his way towards the place where the army was. The closer he got he heard cheers of the Liberation people. Redestro, my fellow Liberation members, we now will hear from our new leader, the man who holds the power to rival the gods. Please welcome the new leader of the Meta Liberation Army, Lord Pain. The cheers from the people were deafening as Pain walked up on the stage looking down at the army. Izuku, greetings Meta Liberation Army, as you have heard I am your new leader. Looking at you all I see people whose dreams and ideals were tossed aside by the superpowered society. You all have power, so does the Akatsuki. We have lived our lives feeling the pain this world has put us through. I assure you that as long as we are here no more will this world hold us down, no more will we suffer from this world's abuse. Our goal is to bring about peace to this world and end the lives of heroes once and for all. Once there are no more heroes and villains, this world can truly know peace. The members of the Akatsuki came and stood beside Izuku looking at the army below. The army listened intently to the words from their new leader. Izuku then continued to speak. Izuku, we have all been silenced, tossed to the wayside, discarded, abandoned, ridiculed and unloved. Why? Because we are different, we act different, we think different than others. Well, now this society will pay for their mistakes. The heroes are gonna be no more when we are done with them. They are the ones standing in the way of trying to achieve our goal. I ask you all, will you fight by our side and slay our enemies? Crowd, yes Lord Pain. Izuku, will you strike down the fake heroes that poison this society? Crowd, yes Lord Pain. Izuku, will you stand by our side as we carve our own path to finding the peace that All Might could not bring, the peace where we can truly be free from the pain this world has brought us? Will you help us create a new world? Crowd, yes Lord Pain. The crowd was roaring in cheers for their new leader. Izuku, as long as you stand with us we will stand with you. We will destroy this world and build a better one in its place. This is the time for us to show the world the mistake they made. It is time for us to show the world the pain we have felt our entire lives. It is time to show the world our pain. You are no longer the Meta Liberation Army, we are now the Paranormal Liberation Army, and we are here to put an end to this dying hero society. This is our time. Crowd, yeah. All hail Lord Pain, all hail Lord Pain. Toga, he really knows how to give a speech. Nagant, he can motivate people with his words and giddy them into a new future. Spinner, we are gonna change this society. Stain, the time to get rid of the fakes is here. Dobby, I am ready to cut loose after that speech. Gentle Lord Pain truly is a man of words. Jiro, thinking he speaks with conviction in his words and he truly wants to make a better society, and I will stand by him and help him. Izuku, you are the bridge to peace and we are the pillars that will support you. Meanwhile, someone was in the crowd, a certain pro-hero watching the scene unfold. Hawks, thinking I have to let the heroes know this right away. Our story starts off with Pain, who is standing on a balcony looking at the raining sky with his Akatsuki cloak on, staring at the sky. It was like the sky was crying. He continued to stare at the raining sky as someone approached him. Lord Pain. He looks to his left to see Jiro walking up to him as she stoops, not walking into the rain. Izuku, yes Kyoka, what is it? Jiro, it is Redestro, he wants to meet with you. Are you okay? Izuku, yes, I am just remembering some things. Jiro really like what? Izuku, my past, everything that has led to what is to come. Flashback. Izuku age 5. Kid Izuku is waiting outside of his school with bruises on him, bruises he got from a beating by Bakugo and his goons. He waited for his mother or his father to come pick him up. He waited 30 minutes and no one came. 30 minutes later turned into 1 hour as no one came for him. Izuku looked down in sadness as he then started to walk home. When he finally made it home, he entered the house to see the house messed up, empty liquor bottles everywhere. Izuku walked into the living room to see his mother watching TV with a whiskey bottle in her hand, laying down on the couch obviously drunk. Izuku walked towards his mom and spoke. "Izuku, mom, I'm home." With a grunt, Inko looked at the boy, looking at him like she was disgusted. "Inko, oh, you're here. Izuku, why you didn't come pick me up from school?" "Inko, so what, you're here aren't you?" "Izuku, yes." "Inko, good, now get to your damn room and don't make any noise." Izuku looked down as he did what his mother said and went to his room and closed the door behind him. Time skip 1 year later. It is Izuku's 6th birthday and he is walking home again from school, but he thinks that his parents has something for him on his birthday. He made his way home. When he walked through the door, he quickly closed it and called out for his mom. "Izuku, mom, where are you?" He looked around for his mother as he did not find her anywhere. "Izuku, dad is probably at work, maybe mom is out getting gifts for my birthday." Izuku sat on his bed and waited for his parents to come home. As time went on by, 3 hours had passed. As Izuku was wondering where both his parents were, he then heard a car pull into the driveway. As he went to the window to see Inko get out of the car staggering, clearly drunk, Inko made her way up to the door of her house. Opening it up, she staggered in. "Inko, oh Mitsuki, today was so fun." Izuku ran up to his mother excited as he spoke. "Izuku, mom, you're home." Inko looked at Izuku as she frowned, as like looking at him made her sick. "Inko, oh Izuku." "Izuku, mom, do you know what today is?" "Inko, it's just any other day, so what?" "Izuku, what, but mom, it's my birthday today." "Inko, oh." She then takes off her shoes and walks past Izuku. "Izuku, mom." "Inko, Izuku, what is it?" "Izuku, I haven't eaten since I got home and." "Inko, and what do you want me to do?" "Izuku, but I'm hungry." "Inko, stop with that damn whining, I don't want to hear it." "Izuku, why is it because you're too drunk to do anything for my birthday? You couldn't even wish me a happy birthday or get me a gift or a cake, you're just a drunk." Slap. Izuku was sent to the ground hard by Inko, who slapped him in the face. "Inko, you stupid brat, you think you can talk to me that way?" Izuku looked at the woman with fear in his eyes as he got up and ran to his room quickly as Inko chased after him, but she was still drunk. She fell but got back up to chase after Izuku, who made it to his room and shut his door and locked it. Inko made it to his room and pulled on the door, but it would not open. She banged on the door relentlessly. "Inko, open this damn door, you brat, right now." She bangs on the door again. "Inko, did you hear me? I said open this damn door right now." She continues to bang on the door as Izuku was sitting in the corner crying, holding his knees to his chest as his drunk mother continues to bang on the door for a little while more until she stopped. "Inko, okay, so that's how you want to play, huh? Just wait until your father gets here, disrespectful little shit." She walks off, heading to her room as she shut the door. Later that night, Izuku was sleeping until his door was banged on. "Open this door right now, you little shit." Awoken by the noise, Izuku quickly sat up only for his door to get kicked off its hinges by a angry Hisashi, who barged in as he grabbed Izuku by his shirt and picked him up with rage in his eyes. "Hisashi, who the hell do you think you are, talking to your mother like that, you ungrateful little punk? You should be thankful that we keep your useless ass." He threw Izuku to the ground hard as he hit with a thud. Izuku, crying "Dad." He was kicked in the gut by his father as he gasped in pain, tears dropping from his eyes. The man then continued to kick Izuku, who tried to protect himself by curling into a ball as his father stomped on him. "Hisashi, don't you ever disrespect your mother again, you shit. It's because of you things are the way they are." Hisashi walked out of the room as Inko stood there smiling at the beaten Izuku. Inko, that's what you deserve, ungrateful little brat. She walks off as Izuku just cries. Izuku, thinking, why is my life like this, why do I have to go through this much pain? Flashback over. Izuku stood looking at the rain falling as he closed his eyes, and he quickly opened them and goes through hand signs. He raised his hands in the air as the rain stopped. He then made his way to Jiro. Izuku, let's go. They both made their way to the meeting room. When they get to the meeting room, they see their other members along with Redestro and someone else. Redestro stood and bowed. Redestro, Lord Pain. Izuku, I was told you wanted to see me. Redestro, yes, I wanted you to meet Hawks. Hawks stood up and walked up to Pain. Hawks, so you're the big bad leader of the Akatsuki. I must say it's an honor to meet you. He holds his hand out for a handshake, but to receive nothing but narrowed eyes at the winged hero. Izuku, I am not here to make small talk with you. I want to know, why the hell are you here? Hawks, why am I here? Izuku, yes, why would you, the number 2 hero, want to join the army of the Akatsuki? What is your true motive? Hawks, oh I see, well, I heard the message you broadcasted all over the world about how this society was messed up. I understand the message you are sending. Heroes aren't really heroes nowadays. There are too many fakes and not enough true heroes, and what you all have been doing have decreased crime a lot. Now you're the main targets of the heroes, but I believe we can both benefit from each other. Izuku, and how do you figure that? Hawks, I am the number 2 hero, which means since I am high up in the ranking I can give you info on the heroes and what their next moves are gonna be, helping you stay a step ahead of them, and plus I was treated like a weapon for the Hero Safety Committee. Nagant, yes, in fact I was the one that trained you. Hawks, right, so I have motive to get back at the heroes as well. Izuku narrows his eyes at Hawks. Izuku, so are you with Redestro and the Meta Liberation Army? Hawks, yes, I have been with the army for a while now, and when I found out you guys were leading it I knew that it would only be a matter of time before things really kicked off. Izuku, so you want to be our spy? Hawks, yes. Izuku, I see. Izuku looks at the rest of his fellow Akatsuki members. Izuku, what do you all think? Jiro, I don't know about him. How do we know he is not working for the heroes? Hawks goes to the table and grabs a bag. He then tosses the bag towards the group as it lands on the floor. Izuku bends down and unzips the bag, only to reveal the severed body of Best Gymnast. Izuku, Best Gymnast looks at Hawks, so you killed him? Hawks, yes, I knew I had to prove myself to you, also I decided to take out a top hero. So is this enough to gain your trust? Izuku stands up and looks at Hawks. Izuku, I need to hear the rest of my members before I come to a decision. Spinner, he took out a top-ranked hero, weakening their forces a bit, so he is legit in my eyes. If he is willing to help us rid the world of these heroes, then so be it. Stain, he might prove to be some use to us, so I agree. La Brava, I agree. Toga, I am cool with whatever decision Lord Pain makes. Dabi, I am not too sure about him, but why not give him a chance? Gentle, he has my vote. Shinso, I guess he is alright. Ibara, I agree. Nagant, I trained him and I know what he is capable of. He can be a great asset to us. Izuku thinks for a minute as he comes to a decision. Izuku, okay, I have heard the voices of the Akatsuki members and you can work with the Akatsuki, but know this. Izuku, no one betrays the Akatsuki. If you do so, then you will be killed. You will not give out any information on the group or the Meta Liberation Army, and you will report to us, understand? Hawks, I understand. Hawks then leaves the room, closing the door behind him. Jiro, so you trust him? Looking at Pain. Izuku, hell no. Looks at Shinso and Ibaro, you two will be keeping an eye on him. If he shows any signs of betrayal against us, kill him, understood? Shinso and Ibara, got it. Izuku looks at Redestro, how long until we attack? Redestro, 4 months my lord, our forces are all getting ready. Izuku, okay. He then looks at the Akatsuki members. Izuku, we have 4 months to get ready for what will possibly be the biggest battle we have ever faced. The time for change is here. We will no longer hide and attack from the shadows. We will now strike right into the heart of Hero Society and put an end to this once and for all. The pain of the past no longer matters. What matters is what we do moving forward. We will fight and we will be victorious in this war. There is no going back now. It's either all or nothing. Dobby, you know we are all in. It's time for this world of heroes to know just who the hell they are dealing with. You have brought us this far and there is no way in hell we will turn back now. Little did they know a red feather was stuck in the door. Listening to their conversation, the feather was left by Hawks with Izuku. Izuku was sitting down on the roof of his hotel looking out at the city as someone approaches him. Nagant, Lord Pain. Izuku looks at her. Yes, what is it, Nagant? Nagant, I want to ask, do you really think Hawks will betray us? Izuku, I don't think I know he will betray us. I could have asked Shinso to brainwash him, but I figured that he would have been informed about Shinso's quirk. After all, him, Ibara and Jiro were at UA, so I am pretty sure that they know all about their quirks but not about all of their abilities. That is why I sent both Shinso and Ibara to keep an eye on him. Nagant, you're not worried about Hawks finding out they are onto him? What if he tips off the heroes and they engage in battle? Izuku, well, let's not worry about that. I have a contingency plan set up if that were to happen. Nagant, wow, always one step ahead. Man, your mind alone is a dangerous weapon, and with all those powers at your disposal you are damn near unbeatable. Izuku chuckles, come on now, you give me too much credit. Besides, we all bring something different to the table when it comes to this group. We have all felt the pain of being hurt by this slowly dying hero world, but soon that will all change. Nagant, so we have 4 months until a full-blown war breaks out. Izuku, yes we do. Nagant, are you nervous or scared at all? Izuku, no, I have seen this coming since the day I set out to form the Akatsuki. I knew that our methods would not change a thing without a huge battle to determine the fate of this cursed society. We are all victims in some way. I wanted to form this group in order to bring change to where it is needed. Nagant, with the powers you have, you could have easily become a hero, no doubt. Izuku, yes, I did have that dream to be a hero once, but I would be nothing but another sheep blinded by the bright lights that these heroes portray as a just society, not showing the damage done in the darkness. I am doing this so that we can all be at peace, to build a true society, one where there are no fake heroes or villains, just people enjoying their lives without having to feel fear. That is what I want. Nagant walks up to him and places her hand over his as she interlocks her fingers with his. Nagant, and we are gonna help you build that perfect society. With Hawks. Hawks is currently in Endeavor's agency with the number 2 hero himself, as he just handed him a book. Endeavor, so you want me to read this book on the Liberation Army? Hawks, yeah, it's a very interesting read, plus there is something you need to read inside. Endeavor, I see, so have you found out anything yet? Their hideout, what's their next move? Anything? Hawks, yes, I have found out something and it's bad, and we are gonna need every hero we can get. Endeavor looks at Hawks, listening intently to what he has to say. Hawks, I met with them, the Akatsuki, every member, even Pain. Endeavor, I see, what did you find out? Hawks, I have to be careful because 2 of their members are watching my every move. It's obvious they do not trust me at all, and that Pain guy, the way he looks at you as if he was looking into your very soul, honestly he's way more scarier than you, and that's saying something. Endeavor, will you get to the point already? Hawks, okay, you see, I managed to get info on the next time they will attack. They will attack in 4 months. Endeavor: 4 months. Hawks, yes, that is when they will attack. As for their abilities, I do not know, we haven't really gotten that close. Unknown to them, Ibara was inside the wall listening to their conversation. Ibara, so Lord Pain was right not to trust Hawks. I have to report this to Shinso. She then sinks into the floor. With Shinso. He was standing on a nearby building with a black hoodie on with black jeans on as Ibara came from the ground before him. Shinso, what did you find? Ibara, Lord Pain was right, and he knows that we are spying on him, and he informed Endeavor about when we will attack. Shinso, well, there is no helping it now. Ibara, what are we gonna do? Shinso, you heard what Lord Pain said, if he betrays us then we kill him. Shinso brings out a scroll. Shinso, I will deal with Hawks. You go report back to Pain. Ibara, are you sure? Shinso, yes, go, I will be fine. Ibara comes from the ground fully as she walks up to Shinso and kisses him on the lips. Ibara, be careful my puppet master. Shinso, I will, smiles. Ibara then sinks into the ground as Shinso brings out the Kazekage puppet. Shinso, let's get this started. Hawks was walking out of Endeavor's agency as he then took to the skies. As he flew in the air, the people see him and wave at him. As he waved back as he was flying, he was suddenly slammed into a building by a giant hand made of iron sand. As the winged hero was shocked by this until he heard a voice. Shinso, well, would you look at that, seems I caught myself a stupid bird. Hawks saw Shinso floating on a iron sand platform with the Kazekage puppet behind him. Hawks, the hell? Shinso, what are you doing? Shinso, the boss told you if you betray us then you will die. You thought this was a game, Hawks. Well, it wasn't, you're dying right here right now. Using the puppet, it breathed out iron sand and made a giant iron lance. It sent it right at the trapped hero. Hawks was trapped, nowhere to run as the iron lances closed in, only for the lances to be punched away by a flaming fist from Endeavor, who was floating using flames on his feet. Shinso, Endeavor, it must be my lucky day I get information on the group that has been causing the heroes so much trouble. Okay boy, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Easy way, you give up and come with me to interrogation, or I beat the crap out of you and drag your ass there. Shinso, you honestly think you can beat me? Let's see you try it. Endeavor flared up his flames as he punched the flaming hand that held Hawks and shattered it, freeing him. Hawks, thanks for that, Endeavor. Endeavor, I got my sidekicks getting the people out of here so we will be able to deal with him. Shinso floats down to a building's rooftop as the heroes landed in front of him. Hawks, I really underestimated your leader. Shinso, you underestimated all of us. Now you're gonna pay the price. Shinso brings out another scroll and the Haruko puppet comes out. Shinso, now since you want to get involved, Endeavor, it seems you're gonna have to die alongside him. ? Hold on there, Shinso, if anyone is gonna kill that guy it's gonna be me. They all look to see Dabi land on the building where they are at. Endeavor's eyes widen seeing Dabi appear. Shinso, Dabi, why are you here? Dabi, well, the boss figured Hawks would pull something like this, so he came up with a plan in case something went differently. Dabi looks at Endeavor as a evil smile crosses his face. Dabi, what's wrong, Dad? Aren't you happy to see me? Chuckles, don't you wanna give me a hug? Hawks sees Endeavor unable to speak, looking at his oldest son. Shinso, so I take it you're gonna help me deal with these guys. Dabi ignites blue flames in his hands. Dabi, of course, now let's kill some heroes. Shinso smirks, let's do this. Dabi, leave Endeavor to me. He blasts a current of blue flames at Endeavor, who fired his own flames as they clashed and exploded. Endeavor was then grabbed by black threads and pulled away and lifted into the sky as he was then slammed into a nearby building by Dabi. Dabi, what's wrong, dear old dad? Old age finally catching up to you? Hawks was flying, avoiding needles being fired at him from Shinso's puppet Hiroku. Hawks then turned around and launched many of his feathers at Shinso, who blocked them with a wall of iron sand. Shinso gonna have to do better than that, bird man. He sent the Kazekage puppet after Hawks as the puppet formed a blade on its arm as Hawks made a feather sword and clashed with it. He then saw a tail approaching him. He was barely able to dodge Hiroku's tail. He continued to fly to avoid the attacks from both puppets. He then heard someone crash into the ground below. He sees Endeavor getting back to his feet as his head was bleeding. Hawks, Endeavor. Dabi walks up to him while retrieving black threads back into his arm. Dabi, so disappointing. I expected more from you, the number 2 hero. It seems you still can't be number 1. Endeavor, Toya, what the hell happened to you? Why are you with the Akatsuki? Dabi, that's a stupid question. He aimed his right hand at Endeavor and blast blue flames towards him, but using his flames he flew out of the way, but Dabi appeared above him and kicked Endeavor in the jaw, sending him flying, but Dabi used his black threads to grab the flame hero and pulled him back towards him and deliver a brutal punch to the man's gut, making Endeavor cough up blood. Dabi then channels flames to his fist, still in Endeavor's got he blast him to the ground with a boom as Dabi landed on the ground. As he walks towards the crater Endeavor made, he then sends his hand at Endeavor as he grabbed the man by his throat and pulled him to him. Dabi, is this it? Come on, you can do better than this. Extending his black threaded arm and sends Endeavor into a building. He then drags him on the building. As he then slammed him on the ground, he retracted his arm back to him. Dabi, if this is how pitiful you're gonna be, then I might as well kill you right now. He then jumped back to avoid a current of flames blasted at him as he looks to see Dabi. Well, isn't this nice, like a little family reunion, eh Shoto? Shoto Toya. Dabi, well, nowadays I go by Dabi, besides that Todoroki name means nothing now. Shoto, why the hell are you here? Dabi, helping out my comrade. We are not as selfish as you wanna be heroes nowadays, we actually look out for each other. Shoto, I'm gonna stop you Toya. He flares up his left side with flames. Dabi, oh really now? Dabi. He looks at Shinso, who has Hawks captured with Hiroku's tail. Shinso, we have what we came for, let's go. Shoto, I won't let you get away. He blast flames at them both as a wall of iron sand forms in front of them, stopping the attack. Shoto, what the? He then gets kicked in the jaw and sent flying into a building by Dabi. Dabi, my foolish little brother, you're too weak to stand against us. Leave the fighting to the ones you call heroes, even though they are fake. Suddenly Dabi was wrapped up by fiber threads along with Shinso. Dabi, the hell? There will be no escape for you this time, Akatsuki. They both look behind him to see Best Jeanist and Maruko. Maruko, we finally managed to hunt you down, not gonna lie, I have always wanted to fight one of you bastards, now is our chance. She leaps into the air and comes down with an axe kick that shatters Shinso's Hiruko puppet, freeing Hawks as she grabs him and jumps away back to Best Jeanist. Best Jeanist, it's over for you. Shinso, you think so, huh? Maruko, cut the tough guy act, kid. She launches herself at him and spins as she kicks Shinso in the jaw. That kick sent him into a building. Maruko, ha. Take that. The smoke clears as Shinso raises his head as half his face is cracked. Maruko, what the hell? Shinso's body then turns into the crow puppet as the puppet charged at Maruko, who kicked the thing away as it rebounded as Shinso comes out, showing him to be standing on a building. Shinso, did you honestly think you can take us out so easily? Out of nowhere Best Jeanist get captured by black threads, shocking him as he looked at Dabi, who was smirking. Dabi, you really should have kept your eyes on me thoroughly, now you're the one captured, it's time I stopped pulling my punches. Suddenly Dabi was punched in the jaw by Endeavor using a flaming fist that launches him through many buildings. Maruko, Endeavor, you're back on your feet. Endeavor, yeah, now we can take them down. Dabi walks up to them out from the rubble. Dabi, well, I thought you were down for the count, seems like I can't pull my punches anymore. Before he can get serious, giant white birds came flying down towards Endeavor, who managed to jump back before the birds explode, blowing them all away except for Dabi and Shinso, who look up to see Gentle Criminal and La Brava. Gentle Dabi, Shinso, it is time to go. Dabi, well damn, just when it was starting to get fun, oh well. Shinso and Dabi jumps up and lands a white bird made by Gentle. Dabi, well, you get to live for now, but do not forget in 4 months Hero Society ends for good. They then fly off at fast speed, leaving the heroes there. Endeavor, damn it. They got away. With Izuku. Izuku, seems like things are gonna get serious from here on out. The battles with the heroes will only get more brutal from here on out. Lord Pain. He turns his head to see Toga. Izuku, yes, what is it, Toga? Toga, Gentle has retrieved Dabi and Shinso, they are returning as we speak. Izuku, well, that's good. Toga, if you don't mind me asking, why didn't you just let them kill them? Surely they were not strong enough to take down Dabi and Shinso. Izuku, I know that they could have taken them out, but we will do that on the main stage. Besides, this war is gonna change everything. 4 months, they will have 4 months left until they can actually try to defeat us. The next day, with Class 1A, they are all in their classroom as Aizawa just told them about what will happen in 4 months. As they were all shocked, Kirishima, wait, sensei, are you serious? Aizawa, yes, I am the information Hawks gave us about the Akatsuki's next attack, which will be in 4 months. We have that much time for you to improve because the battle that is to come will change everything. Bakugo, thinking 4 months, huh? So that is when he will attack. Ida, thinking I will take my revenge on those damn Akatsuki. I will bring them all down. They will all pay for what they did to my brother. Bakugo, thinking Deku, I won't let you tear down this society, I swear. He then gets memories of him and Izuku as kids as they go to when they were in junior high school and their last encounter. Bakugo clenches his fist. Bakugo, no matter what, I am gonna stop you, Deku. 4 months, that's all the heroes were given. Thanks to the information they got from Hawks, they were able to get the info on the whereabouts of the Paranormal Liberation Army along with the Akatsuki. Right now the top 10 heroes along with other heroes are having a meeting to discuss the battle plan to bring down the Akatsuki. Best Gymnast BJ. So the 2 Akatsuki members we fought earlier are 2 of their strongest. Maruko, yeah, that Shinso guy used to go to UA along with that Ibara girl and Jiro. I got info on them from UA about their quirks, but what that guy was using was not his quirk. Just what are their powers? From what the students said at the use, that guy Dabi can manipulate blue flames. Endeavor, that's Toya's cremation quirk, a combination of ice and fire. The flames he use are blue and he can change the temperature of those flames. Even though their members are strong, there is still that pain guy. We don't know anything about him other than his name, Izuku Midoriya. He is the child I met when I fought the sludge villain and saved him. Maruko, you saved that kid? Then why the hell is he trying to destroy the world? From what his mother told me, he had a very bad past. Endeavor, whatever happened to him in the past doesn't make an excuse for what he is trying to do now. There is a victim in every villain. Endeavor, there is a chance that this boy could be. Endeavor stands up and gets in All Might's face. Endeavor, that boy is trying to destroy Hero Society. Even so, he is still just a young boy who could be given a second chance. Everyone deserves a second chance. Ryukyu, hey. This is not the time to fight amongst each other. Maruko, yeah, these Akatsuki guys are the enemy. Endeavor, tch, we are gonna stop them, count on it, and when push come to shove, this pain or Izuku or whatever he wants to be called will be put down. He then walks out of the room, leaving the other heroes there. With Bakugo. Flashback. Kid Izuku, wow, Kaken, your quirk is so awesome, I can't wait until I get mine. Kid Bakugo, yeah right Deku, like any quirk you get is gonna be better than mine. Kid Izuku is holding out his hand to help Bakugo out of the water. Kid Izuku, are you okay? Kid Bakugo smacks his hand away. Kid Bakugo, I don't need your help, Deku. Bakugo, you know, if you really want a quirk so bad, I know how you can do it. Take a swan dive off the roof of a tall building and pray for a quirk in your next life. Bakugo walks away with his lackeys following behind him. Bakugo was sitting down on his bed thinking of how much of an ass he was to Izuku. Bakugo, if only I wasn't such an ass to him. If I had just been a real friend to him, then maybe he would have turned into what he is now. Now when I look at him, I just want to save him, just like he would want to do for me. I will stop you and knock you back to your senses, you damn nerd. Flashback. Izuku, the next time I see you I will kill you. Flashback over. Bakugo, you're gonna have to kill me cause I will stop at nothing to make you see reason. Time skip 4 months later. Izuku was sitting on the edge of a building looking down below as Jiro approaches him. Jiro, Lord Pain. Izuku, I know this society shall know pain. Soon the other Akatsuki members come up to him standing by his side. Nagan, today is the day. Spinner, the day we have been waiting for. Stain, today all fake heroes will take their final breath. Izuku sees the members of the Liberation Army come up. As they see their leaders, they then cheer for them, but Izuku raised his hand to silence them. Izuku, today is the day we have been waiting for. Today we change the course of this world. Yesterday's battles do not matter. Today we will be the ones to invoke the cure to this cursed society that they love so much. This society is sick and we are the medicine for this disease. Today we end this plague, we end this superhero society. Now follow us, my fellow warriors. Today we will see change. He then leaps off the building as the rest of the Akatsuki does the same. As the people below are cheering for them, they land and run forward with the Liberation Army behind them. With the heroes. The heroes have their forces assembled and heading towards the location of their enemy. Leading the charge are All Might and Endeavor along with the top 10 heroes at their sides. Behind him are the army of heroes they gathered as they are waiting for their enemy the Akatsuki. Mineta man, I am so nervous about this. We are about to fight the most dangerous group today. Are we really ready for this? Momo, it's too late to cry about it now. We need to protect what we believe in. Ida, we have been preparing for this battle for the last 4 months. They are trying to destroy Hero Society and we can't allow that to happen. Izuku, okay, now we usually wouldn't do this, but since you're here on the front lines you will need to support the heroes however you can. He looks to see Bakugo with a determined look on his face. Izuku, Bakugo. He looks at Izuku. Izuku, I know you want to take down their leader, but don't lose your head, keep your composure. Bakugo, yes sir. Grand Torino GT Toshinori, how long can you stay in that form? I still have a sufficient amount of time thanks to Pain bringing down UFO. I still have some members of UFO, so it should be enough to bring them down. Denki-jiro. They were all moving in on the location where the Akatsuki will be. While walking, Maruko saw something heading towards them from the sky. Maruko, damn, everyone move. The heroes were confused by this until they looked up. The heroes were all blown away by this attack, as many of the heroes were killed as some were unconscious. Well, I didn't expect so many of you to survive. I wanted to wipe you all out in one go, but it appears that the attack failed. They all look up to see Gentle Criminal on a bird flying in the air. Gentle, savor the breath you are taking, heroes, because it will be your last. He digs into his bags and brings out clay as he molds it with the mouths in his hands to create another clay bird. Gentle, time to show them the work of a true artist. The explosion Gentle used blew away most of the heroes and some of the students, as most of Class 1A were separated. Kirishima, damn, what the hell was that? Shoji, that explosion would have killed anyone. Denki, damn, that hurt like a bitch. I guess you would know what a bitch is since you are one yourself. Jamming way. Hearing that voice, the 3 boys went wide-eyed as they looked up to see Jiro with paper wings coming from her back. Conan equals Jiro. Denki, Jiro. Jiro, you guys don't look so good. Smirks. Kyoka. Momo, Mina and Sue came onto the field. Jiro, Momo, Kyoka, please, we don't want to fight you, just please give up. There is still time for you to change your mind. You don't want to do this. We are your friends. Whatever that Pain guy did to you, fight it. Jiro starts chuckling, which turns into a full-blown laughter. Jiro, listen to yourself. Do you honestly think any one of the Akatsuki is brainwashed? No, we are acting of our own free will. Thanks to Lord Pain we have come this far today. You heroes will take your last breath. We are not friends, never have been, never will be. All I see are fake heroes who no longer belong to this world. Papers come from her and turn into shurikens. Jiro, now die. She launches the paper shurikens at her. Mina shot her acid towards them as the acid collided with a paper, melting it. She then flew upward to avoid an electric shock from Denki. She then launched some papers at him, but these papers were different. They had black markings on them as they rushed past Denki and exploded, blowing the boy back. She launched some at Tokoyami, who was using Dark Shadow to capture her, but to no avail. Shoji, she's too fast in the air, we will never catch her. Jiro creates a sword from paper, but it was shot out of her hand by multiple sparkling blast from Aoyama. Jiro, you're all just popping out of nowhere, I see. She then had to dodge a cannonball fired by Momio. Jiro, you think you're gonna beat me? Well, then you're gonna have to do better than that. She forms multiple paper swords in around her. Jiro, now let the bloodbath begin. Endeavor was sent flying through multiple trees as Shoto was firing ice shards at Dabi, who just used his blue flames to burn them away. Dabi, oh come on, is this it? What were you doing these last 4 months? Just sitting on your ass? Endeavor walks back up and flares his flames. Hawks was dodging fireballs being shot at him by Lady Nagant. Hawks-sensei, please see reason. What you and the Akatsuki are doing is wrong. This does not have to continue. Nagant: yes it does, because this world we live in is so damn corrupted, yet there hasn't been a thing done to change it. If you won't do what needs to be done, then so be it. Hawks: this is nonsense. Don't tell me this Pain guy has that hard of a grip on you. Nagant: you know nothing of Lord Pain. He does not control us, we do what we please. Shoto: Toya, snap out of it. Whatever control this Pain has on you, break it. It's not too late for you, brother. Dabi: shut up! You don't know a damn thing about Lord Pain. He was the one who gave us a purpose, a way to stop our internal suffering brought upon us by you so-called heroes. Nagant: while you were protecting this false society, we were suffering until he came and became our guiding light. Gentle: you heroes can't even begin to understand what we endured until we met Lord Pain. Jiro: he became our savior, our hope. Dabi: he gave our lives meaning again. Nagant: he became our light in the darkness. Jiro: he saved us from our torment. Gentle: he was to us what this world truly needed. Jiro/Nagant/Dabi/Gentle/: he became our hero. Izuku is standing in front of All Might, Gran Torino, Maruko and Bakugo. Izuku: it seems you saved me the trouble of hunting you down. This will make killing you all so much easier. Maruko: tch, you talk as if you're gonna win, kid. GT: careful Maruko, don't underestimate this guy. You saw what he did in Kamino Ward. Young Midoriya, do not continue down this path, young man. We can help you. All this suffering you are causing, the deaths, it needs to end. Izuku: you're right, it does need to end, but it will end with you all dead at my feet. Izuku pulls out a rod from his hand. Izuku: now enough talk, come. They all charge forward as Izuku charges at them, ready to clash for the future of Hero Society. Izuku charges forward as the heroes rush at him. Maruko was the first to attack as she leaped in the air and went for a pin kick to Izuku's head, but he dodged and went to stab her with the rod, but it was stopped by All Might, who held it in place. Suddenly Gran Torino came fast, aiming to kick the boy's head off, but Bakugo was coming in with an explosion ready to blast his face off, but Izuku uttered two words: Izuku, almighty push. The group was blown away with incredible force. Maruko was sent into a boulder while Bakugo was bouncing on the ground like a skipping stone. All Might hit a nearby wall but quickly springs back into action as he caught Gran Torino. GT: that blast of his is no joke, but I think he has a time limit on when he can attack again. We have to find his weakness. Hearing explosions, Izuku turns his head to see Bakugo flying at him with rage in his eyes. Bakugo: Deku. Izuku just waits as Bakugo gets close and goes for a punch to the boy's face, but Izuku blocked the fist with one hand, looking at Bakugo with an annoyed look. Izuku then saw Maruko bringing down her foot for an axe kick, coming down towards him. Holding on to Bakugo's fist, he lifted Bakugo up in the air in the way of Maruko, who brought her foot down, hitting the blonde bomber right in the back as Bakugo screamed in pain. Maruko: shit. Maruko was then kicked in the gut and sent flying by Izuku, who then turned his attention to Bakugo. He aimed his rod at the blonde boy's head, about to stab him until Texas Smash. Izuku saw All Might coming and was able to avoid the punch and stab the hero in the shoulder. All Might then felt a sensation go through his body. Izuku: why do you fight when all your efforts are in vain? Before All Might could respond, he was met with a knee to his face from Izuku, making All Might stumble back. Gran Torino came in only for Izuku to block an incoming kick from the pro. Holding onto Torino's leg, he goes to slam the hero, but he had to jump back to avoid another kick from Maruko as he lands a distance away from them. Izuku: if it's hand-to-hand combat you want, fine, then you got it. Izuku then charges at the heroes. Maruko: here he comes. Izuku goes for Maruko first as she leaped at him, going for a kick, but Izuku grabbed her leg and slung her into an incoming Gran Torino, making them collide with each other. He then blocked a heavy punch from All Might that cracked the ground where they stood. Izuku: even when you're weakened, your strength is impressive, but compared to me you are nothing. I will stop you. Izuku: really now? Izuku aims his right hand as he was blocking the punch with his left. His right hand turned into a cannon aimed at the face of the pro hero. Might want to watch for your surroundings, young Midoriya. Izuku: He looks to his right to see Bakugo pull the pin on one of his gauntlets as it fires at him. Izuku, you all are really underestimating me here. The blast hits dead on, causing a huge explosion as they all wait for the smoke to clear. GT, that should do it. All Might can take an explosion from that brat, but I doubt that Pain can. The smoke clears as they see Izuku and All Might surrounded by a purple barrier. Seeing that brings shocks to their faces as the barrier disperses. Izuku, is that the best you can do? If so, I am extremely disappointed. He then continues his attack and releases a blast from the cannon aimed at All Might, hitting him at point-blank range, sending him into a boulder as his hand returns to normal as he turns and looks at Maruko and Gran Torino as he aims his hand at Maruko. Izuku universal pull. Maruko comes flying at him. Maruko, thinking I can't stop myself. She was then grabbed by the throat as Izuku slammed her into the ground with authority, creating a crater. He lets her go and stands up. Izuku, you are the most annoying one here, so I will get rid of you first. He then aims his hand at her as he lifts her up in the air as she is high up. He then lowers his hand, bringing her crashing to the ground with a boom. He then brings out another rod and was about to stab her, but Gran Torino came at him like a bullet. GT, that's enough. He saw Izuku vanish as he was just about to punch him, shocking the pro, who received a kick to his jaw, sending him flying as Izuku then spoke. Izuku universal pull. Gran Torino was brought back towards Izuku only to be stabbed right in the gut by a rod from Izuku. Bakugo, no. Izuku had an emotionless look on his face as he pushed the body of Gran Torino off the rod as his unconscious body dropped to the floor. Izuku, see how futile your efforts are. If he does not get help, he will die, but if you continue this pointless endeavor, you all will fall just like him. He then looks at Bakugo. Izuku, now it's just you and me. Bakugo, Deku, why the hell are you doing this? Didn't you want to be a hero? Izuku, you still do not understand. Oh well, you will be dead soon along with the rest. Bakugo, I will stop you no matter what. He begins to propel himself using his explosions as he goes for Izuku and engages him, going for a punch only for Izuku to dodge. He then turns around and goes for another, this time adding his explosion with it. He fired an explosion punch, but Izuku blocked it with one hand as he stares at Bakugo. Suddenly Bakugo was lifted in the air and slammed into the ground as he was lifted again and slammed again as Izuku repeated this process and continued to slam Bakugo as if he was a helpless child, as Izuku stopped and stared down at the boy he used to be best friend. Izuku, I almost pity you. He lets Bakugo's hand go only to stomp the blonde boy's head into the ground. Izuku, it's funny, it's so funny that I became the villain and here you are playing the hero. Fate can be so cruel, don't you think? Suddenly All Might burst from the rubble and rushes at Izuku. North Carolina SMA. Izuku holds up his hand at him. Izuku, almighty push. Was sent sailing back, but he was able to stomp his feet into the ground, stopping himself. He launches himself at Izuku yet again. Izuku doing the same thing won't bring different results. He aims his hand again, but he removes it, revealing many missiles as he blasts them all at All Might, but the missiles were then hit by a yellow blast. Seeing this, Izuku was surprised as he looked to see Nahir floating above All Might. Izuku, another one. Got you now, Detroit Smash. Izuku blocked the punch from All Might, but he was launched away only to stop himself in midair. Izuku then had to dodge octopus tentacles coming at him from Tamaki as he descends to the ground, only to avoid an uppercut that came from underground courtesy of Mirio as Izuku went to kick him but was met with punch to his face from All Might that sends him flying into a rock wall. Mirio, sorry we are late. All Might. Young Tagata, do not worry, I'm just glad you're here. This is no ordinary enemy we are dealing with. Bakugo made it back to his feet thanks to Kirishima helping him. Fatgum then comes to All Might. Fatgum, it seems you could use a hand. Yes, it seems that he is proven to be quite the challenge. Izuku then walks out from the rubble slowly as he stares at the heroes assembled. Izuku, it does not matter how many of you show up, this society that has been poisoned by you all will fall today. Mirio, we won't let that happen. You Akatsuki goons are going down. Izuku, all of you fight to protect something that is broken, but it seems the only ones able to see that are us, the Akatsuki, yet you label us as villains. You put on those costumes and call yourself a hero, but do you really know what the word means? We expose the dirt you heroes do to the entire world, and yet you still stand to protect this world. He then jumped away to avoid being stomped on by Mount Lady as she created a huge crater. Izuku then lands on the ground but gets wrapped up by wood bindings from Kamui woods. Kamui, this is over, villain. Death Arms appears along with Crust. Izuku, all of you still wish to fight, all in vain. This is where it ends for you, young Midoriya. When you fall, the Akatsuki will fall as well. Izuku then starts chuckling, which soon turns into laughter as he looks at All Might with a smirk. Izuku, you may be the #1 hero, but you don't have much brain cells, All Might. Izuku then broke the bindings that held him as he flew into the air. Izuku, all of you false heroes will now know pain. He flies high in the air. Mount Lady, what the hell is he doing? She goes to reach for him only for him to hold out his hand at her. Izuku, be gone. She was blasted away with incredible force as the heroes below ran in different directions to avoid being squashed by the giant woman. She crashed on the ground, causing smoke to go everywhere. Kamui, Mount Lady. Izuku was floating in the air with his hands raised high. Izuku, you all will know pain. The Akatsuki members saw this, their leader flying in the air, and knew exactly what it meant. Toga, game over for the heroes. Nagant, smirks, end game. Jiro, Lord Pain. What the hell is he doing? Nahir, that doesn't look good. Nahir flies towards him in an attempt to stop him as the other heroes rushed towards him as well. Izuku, almighty push. The blast leveled the entire battlefield, causing damage to anything and anyone near. As everyone was blown away, the heroes were scattered around the battlefield. Izuku descends to the ground, standing in front of the destruction he has now caused. He then turned and saw someone standing a distance away from him. That person was none other than Akatsuki Bakugo. Izuku, I will give you credit being able to stand after that attack. I will acknowledge your perseverance. Bakugo, why? Izuku narrows his eyes at Bakugo. Bakugo, you were never like this. You always wanted to be a hero. You never wanted to hurt anyone, and here you are causing so much pain and destruction. Just why are you doing this? Bakugo lifts his head up to show that he was crying. Bakugo, why did you turn into a monster? Izuku, even if I were to tell you my reasons, what would your answer be? I saw how bad this society needed changing, and this was the last thing I would have wanted, but this was the only way to enforce change. You ask why I am doing this? Well, I want peace. This world has endured temporary peace that All Might has forced upon us, this illusion of peace that you all enjoy. You do not see the pain and suffering of others. People like you do not need to go around pretending to be something you clearly are not. You are rotten to the core. You should be the villain instead of me, yet you stand there lying to yourself. Bakugo, Izuku, please, I am sorry. Okay, I was wrong to bully you. I was wrong to stop being your friend. I was wrong. Okay, is that what you want to hear? I'm sorry. I apologize for everything I did, but that is no reason for a war. You're killing people, you're killing heroes, and you're saying this is for peace. Izuku, you will never understand. It does not matter anymore because you will die today. He charges at Bakugo as Bakugo rushed at him. Both former friends meeting in the middle clashed fist as they engage in combat, throwing punches at each other, with Izuku getting the best of Bakugo as he was kicked in the side and sent flying. Bakugo propelled himself with his explosions. He was about to fire an explosion at Izuku, but his hand was grabbed and he was slammed on the ground. Izuku then stabbed a rod in Bakugo's hand to keep him from moving. Izuku, there, that should keep you from moving. Bakugo, tch, damn it. Izuku brings out another rod. Izuku, you know, I imagined killing you in many different ways. I figured I would do it the same way you used to beat me up when I was helpless, when I could not fight back. This is the end. Akatsuki Bakugo. Izuku was about to stab Bakugo right in the head but was suddenly wrapped up in wooden bindings again. Izuku, Kamui Woods, are you seriously doing this? He was cut off as something came flying out of nowhere and cut him on his cheek, surprising Izuku, who quickly broke from the bindings and jumped back. He rubbed the spot where he got cut at as he sees blood. Suddenly someone came from out of nowhere as Izuku was shocked to see who it was. Izuku, what is the meaning of this? Stain. Izuku is staring at Stain, who just threw a knife at him that cut his cheek. He then sees Spinner land right next to Stain and hands him the knife with a little of Izuku's blood on it. Izuku: Stain, what are you doing? Why are you betraying the Akatsuki? Stain: I stood with you when you told me about your cause. I agreed fully with what we set out to do. Yes, we needed to cleanse this world of all the fake heroes, and this society is full of fakes, but the one true hero who stands above all the fakes is All Might, the one who actually is worthy to be called a hero, and you want to kill all heroes including All Might. I cannot let that happen. Spinner: we have followed you all the way to this point, but this is where our partnership ends. Lord Pain. Izuku: so you're betraying the Akatsuki. Closes his eyes. Well, so be it. You both know the punishment for betraying the Akatsuki. He opens his eyes, glaring at them. Izuku is death. Spinner takes his sword off his back as Stain takes his scythe from his back as they get ready to face their leader. Izuku rushes at them with Spinner going through hand signs. Spinner water style water dragon jutsu. He spews a water dragon from his mouth as the creature goes straight for Izuku, but it was in vain as Izuku held up his hand, absorbing the dragon. Izuku: tch is this? He was cut off as he saw Stain appear behind him, about to strike him with the scythe, but Izuku aims his hand at Stain. Izuku: almighty push. Stain was blown back with incredible force, but then All Might appeared beside him. Texas smash. He punches at Izuku, who blocked the fist, having done absorbing the attack from Spinner. Izuku then punches All Might in his weak spot. Gah. Izuku: did you forget about your weakness? You showed it to me when I asked you could I become a hero. Too bad now that info comes back to haunt you. He then uppercuts All Might, making him fly up in the air as Izuku appeared above him and punches him in the face, sending him to the ground with a boom. He then sees Maruko flying at him, going for a kick, but he puts up a purple barrier blocking her attack. Izuku: when will you heroes understand? He cancels the barrier and grabs her leg and throws her to the ground, but was caught by Fat Gum. Izuku descends to the ground and looks at the struggling heroes. He then dodged a sword strike from Spinner, who continues to slash away at him, but he keeps failing to land a hit. Izuku: I know better than to touch that sword or let it touch me. You cannot begin to understand the mistake you made betraying us. He brings out a rod and clashes it against the sword as they struggle for dominance. Spinner: we are doing what we believe is right for this society to prosper, then All Might needs to live. Izuku: you are both fools. Very well, if you want to throw away your lives for a dying breed, then go right ahead. Spinner jumped away as Izuku had to dodge many explosion bullets fired at him from Bakugo as he suddenly blocked a punch from Fat Gum. He then blocked Fat Gum's other fist. He then looked behind them to see Maruko going for another kick to his head as Izuku then launched another almighty push to send both heroes away. Izuku, thinking these heroes are annoying, I can't keep launching big attacks like this. Unlike Nagoto, my chakra is not as huge, but I will end their lives, that is a promise. He then sees Bakugo coming at him with a punch, only for Izuku to block the fist. Izuku: you again. Spinner looks at Stain: is it done yet? Stain: yes, I am ready. Bakugo: just stop this already, you can't keep this up. Izuku: I will stop when I see you all dead at my feet, that is why. Gah. Izuku coughs up blood, shocking him. Seeing this, Bakugo blast him in the face with an explosion. Izuku: what the hell was that? He then looks to see Stain. His skin is all black with white lines on his body. He is standing in a circle with a triangle in the middle. Izuku: no, that's. Flashback. Izuku gets cut on his cheek by a knife. Flashback over. Izuku: that damn knife. Bakugo: Deku. Izuku looks up to see Bakugo coming at him. Bakugo: howitzer impact. Bakugo blasted Izuku with incredible power behind his attack. The blonde bomber jumped back and watched as the smoke cleared to see Izuku with half his Akatsuki cloak burned off. Izuku: damn, so you use that knife with my blood on it to curse me? Stain, that's right, I can get hit all day by any attacks and recover. But you're not so lucky. Izuku, you think this can stop me? Well, you are mistaken. Spinner goes through hand signs. Spinner water style water shark bomb. 5 water sharks came from Spinner and goes for Izuku. Izuku held out his hand at the attack. Izuku almighty push. He blew the attack away but was suddenly punched by All Might. Detroit smash. The punch sent Izuku flying into a wall. Izuku came out of the wall ready to attack as he charged at All Might, only to feel pain in his leg making him drop to the ground. Izuku, damn you, Stain. He struggled and got back to his feet to block an incoming kick from Maruko. Maruko, you look like you're slowing down. What's wrong? Pain can't keep up. Izuku, I will kill you. He then grabbed her by the leg and stabbed a rod in her leg, making her unable to move. Maruko, shit. Izuku almighty. He then felt pain in his left arm as Stain stabbed his left arm with that. Izuku was then saw Bakugo fire his last gauntlet at him. Izuku was able to dodge out of the way but only to be punched by Mirio with Ofa enhancing his strength. Izuku was sent sail but he managed to stop himself. He jumped back to avoid a blast from Nahir but he was then hit by a water dragon from Spinner that sent him into a mountain. Bakugo was propelling himself forward and hits him with another huge explosion. Dead on when the smoke clears, Bakugo grabbed Izuku by the remain of his cloak, pulling him up to look him in the face. Bakugo, stop this, enough already, just turn yourself into the heroes. You can't do this any longer, please. I don't want to kill you, Deku, don't make me do this. Izuku, who had his eyes closed, opened them as he stared at Bakugo. Izuku, just shut up for once, it's not like you understand anyway. Bakugo listened as Izuku spoke again. Izuku, what makes you think you know anything about me? You had everything right from the beginning, you can't possibly understand. He then punched Bakugo, getting him away as he leaped after him and kicked the blonde bomber to the ground as the heroes stood beside him as Izuku landed on the ground standing in front of the heroes. Izuku, you think I am just doing this because I lost my mind? You idiot, none of you truly understand. Flashback. Izuku is 7 years old. Izuku is in his room crying with his knees to his chest. Izuku, I hate this. Why do I have to be hurt for something I don't have? Why are mom and dad so mean to me? I wish I had a quirk, then they will finally. Izuku is now 11 years old as he holds a gun to his head. He was about to pull the trigger but his hand is shaking. He then pulls the trigger but no bullet. He drops the gun and drops to his knees, breathing heavily. Flashback over. Izuku, while you were praised for your quirk, I was getting beaten down by people who were supposed to love and care for me. Instead they told me every day how worthless I was if I wasn't getting beaten down at home. Then I was tormented by you and by everyone else in our school. I was always alone. When I killed my father with this new power, I made up my mind that I will no longer let this society bring me down. No one said they were here for me. I was always alone until I reformed the Akatsuki. I found a family that shared the same goal, even if two people do not agree. You are trying to kill heroes. I know you had a bad past, but there is no reason to cause this much destruction. Please end this. Izuku, even if I do stop this and turn myself in, what will be left for me? Only a life sentence in jail or the death sentence. I am doing this so that no kid goes through the same things I went through, so that a group like the Akatsuki ever forms again. This war was the only way to bring change. If I have to die for that change to come, then so be it. He puts his hands together. Izuku, you think you can beat me? Then you are mistaken. I will not stop. Even if my life ends here, another will rise to take my place. Izuku opens his palms as a black orb floats into the sky from his hands. Stain, not good. Stain was then lifted off the ground along with the other heroes except for All Might and Bakugo, who managed to get themselves out of the situation. Kamui Wood's Death Arms, Maruko and Mount Lady along with the Big Three and Fat Gum were being sucked into the sky. Nahir was able to fly away, but Mirio and Tamaki were not so lucky as the heroes were trapped in the giant created moon. Izuku, planetary devastation. Izuku drops to one knee as he coughs out some blood. Izuku, damn. He trapped the heroes in that giant rock. Bakugo, looks like that attack took a lot out of you, yet you're still hell-bent on continuing this craziness. Izuku, so heroes, what will you do? Stop me or save your comrades? They saw Izuku breathing heavily. With Jiro. Jiro, damn pain, use that move, I have to go check on him. She turns to look at the beaten members of Class 1A as Suwa in a pool of her own blood. Denki's head was blown up as his body laid lifeless. The only ones that remained were Momo and Mina. They were breathing heavily with many bruises and scars on them. Jiro, I need to check on Lord Pain. Jiro then flies off, heading in Izuku's direction. AM launched himself at Izuku and delivered a punch only for Izuku to block it and stops an explosive punch from Bakugo. He was blocking with his right since his left arm is damaged, as he tossed Bakugo away only for All Might to come again and deliver a punch that connects, but Izuku blocked with his right arm but was sent sailing. Bakugo came flying back in and blasted Izuku down to the ground, causing him to cough up blood. He struggled and got back to his feet as All Might was rushing at him. This ends now. Pain Detroit smash. He thrust his fist forward, but then All Might puffed into his skinny form. Damn it. Izuku punched the now deflated pro hero in the jaw, sending him away, but Bakugo caught him. Bakugo, All Might, you okay? Damn, it seems I reached my limit. It's all up to you now, young Bakugo. Bakugo sits All Might down as he looks at his former friend. Seeing as it is only him left, he then walks up to Izuku, who was breathing hard, blood coming from his lip. Izuku, do you hate me now? Bakugo, you are too far gone. I can't save you, but I will still stop you. He blasted himself at Izuku but had to dodge paper shurikens from Jiro as she descended to the ground beside Izuku. Jiro, Pain, you're wounded. Izuku, do not worry about me. Why are you here? Jiro, look at you, you look like hell. Izuku, I am, coughs up blood. Jiro, damn, this is not good, we need to fall back, you are too hurt. Bakugo, you think I'm gonna let you all go? Earphones, think again. He blasted himself at her as she brought out her paper wings, but Bakugo was blasted away by an almighty push from Izuku that sent him flying, but he rebounded himself and flew back into the fray. He then fired many explosion bullets at Izuku, who ran around dodging them, while Jiro sent her paper bombs at the blonde bomber. Jiro was then blasted in the back by Nahir as she was sent to the ground. Nahir, Bakugo, you deal with Pain, I've got Jiro. Bakugo continued to fire his explosions at Izuku. Rushed at the bomber with a rod drawn. Bakugo was about to fire another explosion, but his felt his shoulders ache. Bakugo, thinking, damn it, not now. Izuku, I've got him, it's over. Izuku moved at incredible speed and was about to impale Bakugo, but suddenly someone stepped in the way and was stabbed right in the heart. Bakugo, no. Kirishima was standing in front of Izuku with a rod piercing through his chest. Izuku, you would sacrifice your life for this trash. Kirishima coughed up some blood. Kirishima, yeah, because that's what a hero does, save people. My life may be over, but I knew that this was the only way to finally beat you. Now you lose. Izuku, what do you mean? Kirishima chuckles, now All Might. Izuku, what? All Might was charging up all of his remaining strength into his right arm. Izuku used almighty push to get himself free and blasted Kirishima away, but Bakugo grabbed him, holding him in place. Bakugo, oh no you don't. Izuku, damn you. Young Midoriya, this ends here. Do you know why? Because I am here and this is the end for you. Launched himself at Izuku using his remaining strength. This is what happens when you push past your limits and go beyond plus ultra. He thrust his fist forward as Bakugo moved out of the way. All Might punched Izuku in the jaw. United States of Smash. With the power he had left, he drove Izuku into the ground, causing a huge storm. When the storm died down, they all saw Izuku lying in the crater. Finally it's over. Bakugo looks at Kirishima's dead body as he lowered his head. Jiro, no. She then flew over towards Izuku as she landed right where he was punched as she went down to him, trying to wake him. Jiro, wake up, damn it, Pain, this isn't funny, wake up. It's over, young Jiro. You and the rest of the Akatsuki will surrender now. Jiro's tears fall as she looks at the unconscious body of her lover. Jiro, Lord Pain. She closed her eyes thinking that the fight to change the world was over until... Don't cry, Jiro. Hearing this, her eyes widen as she sees Izuku with his eyes fully open as he smiled at her weakly. Izuku then goes to sit up. Jiro, wait, Pain, you can't keep going, your body is too damaged. Izuku then struggles, but he makes it to his feet as he stands up, breathing heavily, shocking All Might and Bakugo. But that attack. My United States of Smash, there is no way he should be standing. This boy's willpower is strong. Izuku, this is the end for you all. I will destroy the world you love so much. My name is Pain and death has never frightened me. With a huge battle cry, the ground starts to shake as something came from the ground behind Izuku. The Jedumazu roared, making the heroes feel afraid. The monster then opened its mouth and out came a dragon as the beast went down as All Might and Bakugo tried to run away, but the dragon hit them and devoured their souls. Izuku then sent the beast all around the battlefield as the dragon went on devouring all the souls of the heroes. Avoiding the Akatsuki members, the beast devoured any soul of heroes in its path as it returned to the Gedomazo statue. Jiro, amazing, you did it, Pain, you did it, we won. She turns around only to see Izuku on his knees as he falls forward, but Jiro catches him. She looks at his eyes to see there is no life in them anymore. Jiro, Izuku. She then placed a hand over his eyes, closing them as the man who was known to the world as Pain, Izuku Midoriya, is dead. Soon the Akatsuki members stood around them, seeing the scene before them. Their leader, the one who saved them all, is now dead. 6 years later. He died. I held him in my arms as I saw no more life in his eyes. He was the one man I truly loved, the one for me. He saved me from solitude and made me a part of a family, and now with his soul at rest he can finally be at peace. Mommy. Jiro, what is it? Iri, Uncle Dabi is here. Dabi walks into the room. Jiro, yes Dabi, what is it? Dabi, it's almost time to move, we are just waiting on you. Jiro, right here I come. She goes and grabs her Akatsuki cloak and puts it on as she looks at Iri. Jiro, now you be a good girl for your Auntie Ibara, okay? Iri, okay mommy. Jiro then leaves the room as Dabi follows behind her. Jiro, time to make them all feel pain. 6 years has passed since the war between the heroes and the Akatsuki. Since then the world has changed completely. Now the Akatsuki has grown in power thanks to the leadership of Kyoka Jiro. She took over after Pain's death. After the war, the Akatsuki made their mark by taking over and eliminating all the heroes. Having now killed the heroes and the villains of Japan, they have now moved their mission onward towards the entire world, inheriting the will of their former leader. They are cleansing the world of false heroes and villains. Jiro kept Iri as her Nagants, and Toga's daughter Ibara and Shinso have a child now, a boy named Shiroku. As for the heroes who were trapped inside planetary devastation, they were killed as well. Even Spinner and Stain's body was chopped into many pieces and scattered throughout the Sea of Japan. Spinner was burned to ashes by Dabi. Keeping true to their word, no one betrays the Akatsuki and lives to tell the tale. I hope you all have enjoyed this book. I enjoyed making it for you. Yes, sadly this story is coming to an end, but I still have more in store for you. Also, my fellow readers, stay tuned and thank you all. Thanks for watching. This is the end. What you think about the endings? Out.